What is going on, everybody? It is episode 324 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I'm here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Today, I hope that we don't have the power go out and the stream will be fine. Brett, you're wearing a normal hat today,
yes.
So
no,
you're not jinxing anything, right?
No, I could have worn the blue hat today, but I wore it last time and the show didn't go bad. It just went good.
Suspiciously well.
No, it's like I'm waiting for to break the curse of a bad hat. If you play sports or anything like that, a game has to go very, very well for it to no longer to make it back to just even territory. It needs one really good day. So it's not quite there yet.
All right, we've got two guests in the studio today. Firstly, we got Kellen wearing Vineyard Vines.
Phil Labonte. Attention, Phil Labonte. Last night you chose to wear a certain shirt. And I just want to let you know it's war now. So yeah, it's cold. It's still cold. It's March, but it's still cold. But you know what? The bright colors are coming out.
It's a very summery shirt you got there.
You do look like you're on your way to the Hamptons, my friend.
Yeah, man. Gonna go hop on a boat.
And we also have with us Surge.com.
I'm still wearing black.
Yes.
Yeah, it's perpetually in style. So.
Nice.
I think I like the black better than the Vineyard Vines. Not gonna lie.
You definitely don't fit in right now.
That's okay.
Yeah, everybody else is wearing black.
Listen, you guys can stay. Yeah, that is weird. Yeah. You guys can stay being Switzerland. That's okay. All right, I got this.
Wait, does wearing black make us Switzerland?
We're neutral.
We're neutral?
Well, because I'm not on Phil's team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, why is Phil at war with you?
Because he
doesn't think that
bought all this huge wardrobe of all colorful clothing, and then posted on Twitter and bragged about it. And I'm like, dude, Phil, you know I've got that wardrobe already. Like, what are you doing here? He's just stepping on my toes.
It's a drip off.
Yeah,
no, I love you, Phil.
You think
I love you.
Invented wearing colors or something?
Right, yeah.
That's funny because I've only seen him wear mostly black.
Yeah.
Yeah, bright shirt yesterday.
Interesting.
So. He'll wear blue jeans from time to time, but mostly I've only seen him in black shirts. So
Okay.
We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today, guys. But before we get started, could you hit the like button? Could you subscribe to this channel? If you have not done so already, it helps us greatly. Hit the notification bell to make sure you get all the notifications for all of these episodes. We did put out a review for the final episode of The Last of Us. Mary had been out of town, so we waited to get that done when she got back. And the season is over. I actually made a tweet about it saying I'm kind of happy that it's over and that I wasn't super fond of the show because I see a bunch of people who say that they are, and it makes sense to me, and they're able to eloquently explain what they're so happy about, why they're so happy about it, and it kind of just reinforces the idea that, for me, a lot of this stuff is subjective. So go check out that review when this episode is over. Also, remember, we will be continuing the tradition of reading $20 and over Super Chats. If you feel like interrupting in the middle of this discussion...
How about this? I'll read them if they're, PG. If they're too far for me, then maybe Kellen can take a crack at it.
Yes.
Sure, I've been practicing reading.
Good.
I haven't.
You're literate now.
Brett, I have to ask though. Sorry to interrupt, but what is in that bottle? What am I looking at right now?
Energy drink.
Yeah.
Why did it separate?
It didn't separate. That's just the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the bottom.
I was like, that is a gnarly thing that you're consuming over there.
No, it's just the bottom of the container.
Okay.
So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about Brendan Fraser and The Whale and Dove soap. If that sounds like a non sequitur, it's not. It all goes together. Dove has a problem with the fact that Brendan Fraser won an Oscar for Best Actor in The Whale. They're mad that he wore a fat suit, so I'm expecting them to go after Weird Al Yankovic anytime now. We will discuss that. We're going to talk about the creepy video of Drew Barrymore bowing down at the feet of Dylan Mulvaney to the point where, I didn't even want to cover this. I watch it and it just makes me weird and uncomfortable. It's just awkward.
I'm happy we're going to talk about that because I've got some...
I knew you would.
Yeah. Here we go.
So we will be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Iggy Azalea and Isabella
Riley. They got into a big Twitter dispute over OnlyFans. Iggy Azalea then started shilling her OnlyFans to Isabella Riley's husband. It was crazy.
And I just had to be like, look, I haven't thought of Iggy Azalea in a long time, so it's an OnlyFans thing. And you had plenty of things to say about OnlyFans the other day. So we got one right there.
Francisco Sanchez Jr. said, "Hello, I would like to interrupt."
You have done so.
You did it.
You did it. You have interrupted. Thank you. So beyond that, we're going to talk about Lil Nas X, who in the past has done his best to be some type of provocateur. Well, he knows where his bread is buttered, and he bent the knee right quick. He made a joke about becoming trans, or made a joke about how basically posted a picture of someone else and said the transition is complete, and he immediately started getting shot down, and then he apologized right quick because he
I
knows
thought
that,
somebody like used face app on a picture of him
just a
to
picture of
make him
someone
look
else.
female.
No.
Okay.
So we're going to be talking about that. They always bend the knee to the most powerful lobby in all of the socio-political sphere. So we're going to talk about all that. If you guys are ready, we will just get right into the start of the show. Mary, are you ready?
We're ready.
Kellen, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Serge.
Let's get into the news. Yeah, let's do it.
That was good. Do that again.
No.
No? All right. That's worth a shot. All right. So I've got some fantastic news right off the bat. If you like common sense or anything of that nature, and then it went away. There it is. All right, guys. The Nancy Meyers $130 million rom-com that literally made no sense whatsoever has been canceled by Netflix.
She
Shocking.
asked, not only that, but she asked for at least $150 million originally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. To make a rom-com with basically just not enough people to justify that price.
Who is Nancy Meyers?
Have you ever seen The Holiday?
No.
Have you ever seen Father of the Bride?
No.
Okay.
She makes a lot of rom-coms.
And she wanted 150 million.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing.
One
I
that's
recognize her
streaming
face. That's
only.
about it, though.
But here's the thing. Have you ever seen The Holiday? Everyone's at least seen the cover to The Holiday with
Yeah.
Jack Black and Kate Winslet.
Something like that. I recognize her face.
That movie cost $85 million to make in 2006, which comes out to just about over $128 million now.
Wow.
So it's actually not outside the realm of possibility, but that was when you had DVD sales to bolster everything, and that made sense. Now, if it's Netflix, it's just going to go get dumped on Netflix, never to be seen again by anyone.
I was literally speaking to Elad last night about there's all the videos that are on Netflix and wondering if they're actually, are they all patroned? Are they all viewed by people?
Yeah.
Because I feel like everyone that I've seen use Netflix only watches a certain few things. I feel there's a lot of it's like bloatware. It's like stuff that's just there.
It's hard.
It'd be funny if you find out that there's just not even stuff there. They're just pictures.
That would be
Yeah,
you
it's
go
just
click
to
on it.
provide the illusion of choice when they
Yes,
know that no
exactly.
one will take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
it sucks because you kind of have to. It's like if you ever worked retail, you know there's that item that does not sell, but there's that one guy that comes in and buys it, and you have to have it, right? Or he complains.
That's not going to make a profit.
No, it's not. But you know,
like supermarkets in the United States, they have a
again,
ton of extra product that doesn't get used. It goes directly to wastage, which is just insane. We should fix our mentality about this, if anything, not like the way the system works,
Right.
not like say oh, the people are top. We're just gonna change a lot of our.
Now the white pill here though is maybe they're going to use this money that they're saving to bring back the warrior nun.
That's not gonna happen.
Not gonna
That's
happen.
so not gonna happen.
Nope.
It's also now I'm thinking of ways they could do this, where it's like you click on a movie that's not a real movie, and it just says error code 503, and it goes
code,
and it keeps kind of bouncing back, and you're like, man, every time I go to watch
It
this
just
movie,
auto plays Stranger Things.
yeah,
Sorry, we can't play this title right now.
yeah, and then it goes that, and they're just like, look at all our choices, but just half of them aren't real choices. They're not even
It's
actual
like
movies.
the fake grocery stores in North Korea.
Yes.
There was a
Yeah,
video
true,
where a guy,
true.
I think it was just a really elaborate prank video. And he was scrolling through Netflix, but it was all humongous titles. It was all variations of that, just complete nonsense and just gibberish.
Nice.
He's like, what is this? What's going on Netflix? But so many people believe that it was real because of just the ridiculous stuff that actually is on Netflix.
Yeah, seriously.
You know?
Yeah.
I like
Did you
it.
watch Warrior Nun? Are
No,
you saying that 'cause you wanted it
but I'm
to
seeing
come out?
one of the larger online, not protests, but I'm seeing a huge gathering online. People are coming saying Apple TV save it, Netflix save it, and it's been going on for a few months now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of steam and a lot of support behind this.
They made that billboard and everything.
Apple
I don't
TV
know.
I've
is
never
not
seen it,
saving
though.
anything. Apple TV is nobody's using. Literally, Carter is the only one now with Apple TV, and that's because they made him take it.
I've got it.
Yeah.
But it's because you get the Apple Arcade,
Yeah.
Apple Music, and TV all in one little package.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see that when they have to
packaging,
upsell you on a bunch of other stuff,
And
it's
package
not
you.
even real. And also, Netflix has been acting up lately. It has not been working very well. I don't know if that's a software issue for me, but every time I try to use it. I push a button and like 9 seconds later it responds. So I haven't been watching much of Netflix anyways. Besides, Hulu has Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Smallville. So why would you need another streaming service when you can just watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Smallville? That's all you need. It sucks that you have to give Disney money for that, but you know, buy the DVDs.
You know, before the pandemic, there's all these awesome sci-fi shows that were coming out of Canada, and I don't know if it was one particular studio, but you can definitely tell there was like a flavor to that type of movie and show.
Continuum came out at that time. Sanctuary.
Like, that's a streaming service I'd pay for. Just
Lost Girl, all were Canadian
stuff.
shows. It's really funny too because it's like there's only a bold decision whenever a Canadian TV show decides to actually take place in Canada and not just pretend to be New York City or some vaguely American. They try to be Seattle a lot too.
Yeah.
They did that with iZombie. It's like it takes place in Seattle, and Seattle looks a hell of a lot like Toronto.
Yeah, it does.
They're ashamed of their nation, their national identity.
And then I'm like, and every time I watch it, I'm like looking, I'm like eagle-eyed the money to make sure they're using actual Canadian money when they buy things.
Is their Canadian money like made of plastic and it's like pink and sparkly and stuff?
It was pretty sparkly.
Might be a plastic.
Like
in Singapore, they have like literal all the like, or not all of the notes, but a lot of the little notes are a little plastic, and then they got a little see-through emblem on them and stuff like that.
I forget what country it was, but I think it was just the euros. Like, depending on how big the bill is, it's worth more. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So the really small bills are like $1. And the big bills are like 100.
Some fatties.
Really?
Yeah, some really
That's
big
crazy.
ones. Yeah.
There was some great sci-fi coming out of Canada at that time. That one scared the crap out of you.
Yeah,
Mary, we got one right there.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, I didn't get to watch live yesterday. I want to say that Mary needs to go to reconciliation and confess to knocking it out Sunday like St. Nicholas against the heretic Arius. God bless y'all, PCC crew, and peace be with you.
Thank you for checking in with us.
Steve Ryman also said there was a young lady named Sue. Wait.
These are those rhyming chats.
Who said as the bishop withdrew?
The bishop. I already messed up. Who said as the bishop withdrew? Oh, the vicar is thicker and stronger and slicker and oh so much longer than you. My ex was dyslexic, but nobody's perfect. Glad you're back, Kellen and Serge.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. I like the tongue twisters and it's like going on a journey on those.
It's like a Dr. Seuss super chat.
Have you ever seen those videos of the guy rapping Dr. Seuss books?
No, that's cool.
It's great.
No.
And it's like every time he does it, like the caption says Eminem's been real quiet since this got posted. Like,
oh my God.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
all right.
I thought that Dr. Seuss got canceled though.
Yes, well, you know, this guy was very clearly not following the cultural narrative.
Dr. Seuss was canceled. His books weren't.
No, his books were canceled. Dr. Seuss
No,
is
you
long
can still
gone.
find them. I see them everywhere.
Can you cancel a dead person?
Yeah, you can cancel their estate. I guess they're trying to do that with Tolkien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what was it, Mozart a couple years ago?
They're gonna try to pull up Tolkien's Edward tweets and get him canceled.
Where like somebody needs to start like create like I mean that's already a thing, right? Like people make fake accounts for like famous people that weren't around in the social media age.
Make them say wild things.
There's a guy who just Sam Elliott's mustache just started following me on Twitter.
Who?
Do you know who Sam Elliott is? The guy who has the big mustache.
No, I don't.
He was in 1883s and a lot of things,
really
but
deep
like
voice.
he's so I posted about I was talking about Justified, and somebody mentioned that it was weird that Sam Elliott was in that show with no mustache, and I said he does have Jordan Peterson vibes when he doesn't have the mustache, and Sam Elliott's mustache responded and said, Sam always looks evil when I'm not around.
Oh my God.
All right, guys. So Nancy Meyers, the movie is not going forward. That is shocking, I tell you. But beyond that, what's more shocking and more depressing is the special prosecutor for the Rust shooting has stepped down due to pressure from the Baldwin defense team.
That's a bad picture of Alec.
Well, good.
He doesn't look so hot.
No, well, good.
What happened, man?
And that lady, that looks like the face of a lady who's being pressured by a bunch of people from a powerful law firm to step down because they're like, look, we've got all these incriminating videos of you and all these photos of you.
They argued that her trying the case while also being a state legislator in New Mexico violates state constitution.
Yeah. Yep. So look, everyone knows that this wouldn't have happened if it didn't happen for the fact that Alec Baldwin probably has like the most expensive lawyers you can find
who know every letter of every law.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So just a depressing. That's a little bit of a black pill today.
We knew
like,
that he wasn't
yeah.
going to face consequences.
Yeah.
That's not a surprise.
Nope.
This is dumb. I don't like this because I know I was kind of like on the opposite side of you guys last time we talked about Alec Baldwin. This isn't the way though, right? Like just getting it taken out of court is not the way. If you want to like go in court and be like, listen, I was just acting, I truly didn't know, and just claim ignorance, go for it. You know, but he's just saying like, no, nothing happened, no crime.
Right. If you,
I didn't pull the trigger.
No one died.
If you didn't
It was
feel
a
like
ghost.
Exactly. If you didn't feel like there was any, if you didn't have any culpability whatsoever, and you really felt like you were innocent, you would have no worry about. Yeah, you want to go to court. Like you're saying, you want to be like, no, look, I'm categorically innocent. I've been found innocent by a jury of my peers. You don't want to like cover it up. Yeah, it's.
So that may be the little bit of a black pill today, but I have a white pill for everyone here, and that is that Lindsay Lohan has gotten pregnant for the first time. She's going to have a kid.
This is good.
Is that a
news.
white pill?
It's fantastic. Well, you see,
She's in her like wholesome era.
How old is she?
She's like doing Hallmark
she's
movies.
36. You know how I know that? Because me and her have the exact same birthday and year. So we are birthday twins.
Okay.
So, you know,
Interesting.
good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Good for her.
Yeah,
Is
good for
she
her.
like
She's
married?
definitely
Or
come up.
what? What's the situation?
So it says Lindsay's
Where'd
ex.
she get the baby? Where'd she buy the baby?
She just bought the baby. She's found it out. She found it on like
Where-
Alibaba.
What
She tells
happened?
TMZ, so she is in a relationship. She says, we are very excited for our new family member to arrive, and we're looking forward to this next chapter of our lives. The baby will be the first for Lindsay, so this is a huge milestone at 36 years old. I mean, we've been talking about it.
At least she doesn't have a surrogate.
Yes. So it's,
True.
yeah.
There's
so
small wins here.
like that's the litmus test
baseline.
for like any level of success now.
Hold
is to
on,
just
look at the
not
cake.
have what?
Look at the cake. So I assume he proposed with the cake,
Yes.
but it was already designed with she said yes.
Well, yeah, he's taking.
Well, he's
I don't know
being
if I like-
confident.
Apparently.
And it worked.
Well,
It
he could
worked out
just
for him.
if she said no, he could just like wipe the frosting off and just she said.
And he
yeah.
in tears just writes in the
No.
frosting.
No.
She said no.
You need to have a yes and a no, and then a little red frosting pen, and she'll circle the one. You know? Yeah.
She seems like she would be cheesy like that. She
Yeah.
would like something like that.
So good for her. Good
Or
for
she
her.
like approve it.
Yeah.
You know, she would make sure she approved the way they're gonna do it. Yeah.
So and her ex said he wishes her all the best. So that's better than that story.
It's so weird that they reach out to someone's ex. though.
That's hilarious.
It's better than that story you were telling me the other day.
Yeah.
Like, who was it that said that she had never orgasmed until she was 38?
Rachel Bilson.
Rachel Bilson, and then they were like reaching out to her exes, like, "Ha, you're bad at your
Hayden
job."
Christensen was getting tweets like,
was that
"What's
the same,
up, buddy?"
I think I saw that post, and they said her last boyfriend or whoever. We have a super.
We have a super chat. It's for you.
Who is this?
It's for you, Mary.
Clef the Misfit said, "Hey Mary, good job on whatever. Regarding my super chat then about knowing when to stop mining an empty cavern, I was saying those girls weren't smart enough to give you the deep reflective answers you kept prodding them for." Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even expecting much. I wasn't expecting them to like philosophize or anything, but just have an opinion.
Yeah.
I thought that you might have been like trying to make some kind of innuendo or I don't know, like reference that I wasn't understanding. But yeah, you're right. They weren't really open to discussion.
But hey, they're not feminists. They said they weren't feminists.
But they hold all the same views
Yes.
as feminists.
It's-
Isn't that funny?
It's weird how that works. So, anyways, good for Lindsay Lohan. That's your white pill for today, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's get into the thick of it all. This is the depressing stuff. So it says Dove soap bashes the whale for using a fat suit instead of hiring an obese man. Quote: "Our identity is not your costume."
Weren't they just subtweeting him?
Yes.
They didn't even address it directly.
Nope.
It was just a tweet with zero context that says, "Stop giving fat suits awards!" Exclamation point emoji. "We want better representation in Hollywood. Hashtag let's change beauty." That sounds like even just saying let's change beauty, that's demonic.
I hate this. Like,
Yeah.
listen. First of all, corporate accounts, get off Twitter, get off social media. We don't like
Silent.
nobody
And they're bad
wants
at it.
you there.
And they're
Stop
bad
trying to
at it.
fit in with Stan Twitter.
Yeah,
That's
like
what
come
we
on.
want you to
And
know.
second off, yes, like I understand it's not the entire organization of the company of Dove, but you know what? It's some one or two interns that are projecting their own personal beliefs on behalf of the entire company, and it's Dove, it's Twizzlers, it's The only one
M&Ms.
the only one that can stay is Radio Shack, because that guy bought Radio Shack just to have the Twitter account.
Yep, and he's hilarious.
And he's
but my favorite was also there was this tweet that says, "This tweet is actually funny when you realize that Dove's parent company Unilever sells ice cream, condiments, juices, and other junk. These corporations defend obesity because they want to keep their customers fat and unhappy, so they can continue being good little consumers." You know, it's why. It's why Pfizer invests in the Oscars and invests in all of these companies. They want to keep you at home in front of your television, heavily medicated.
Well, and you know, like in the 70s and 80s, when Big Tobacco was getting reamed for killing people, they did something very smart.
Man, we need to be able to put that in in a thumbnail soon. Reamed. So it's got to be one of the ones where I make the letters the different color.
But what they ended up doing is they knew people could live without tobacco, but they also knew people couldn't live without food. So they started investing and buying up tons and tons of companies in the food industry. So now a lot of those people that own Big Tobacco are the ones that own...
Now vapes, anyways.
You know, yeah, it's a whole... you know, like Ian talks about a lot, how the same 2-3 companies own everything.
They're in big agriculture, you mean? Like...
No, like Kraft Foods, stuff like that.
Because of the highest level too, there's like
sugar
holding companies that hold all the investment of all these
and so they
corporations.
transferred a lot of the business over there, and because we can't live without food.
My other favorite part was one of the first tweets says, "Jeremy Boring, Ben Shapiro, Real Daily Wire. When's Jeremy's soap dropping?" And the very next response is from Jeremy Boring.
What did he say?
He says, "I won't lie, it's our best product. They already have it because they have Jeremy's razors." So he says, "Our shampoo and conditioners are great too, and they have body soap."
There you go. They already went there.
Yeah.
So.
Good moves. I like
so
that.
you know,
it's a perfect product placement.
I watched a couple of videos that were like critiquing the Jeremy's razors thing the other night, or the Jeremy's chocolates thing the other night. They
did a chocolate review.
No, they were critiquing the commercial and whether it was. They couldn't understand why people thought it was funny. And I never really thought of it as funny. I just thought of it as great marketing.
Yeah.
But that's great marketing. Dove does not know how to market to the internet.
But it's like, you know, they had a joke in there. It was the men's, the him was the chocolate with nuts in it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like, oh, I get it. Haha.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't even that
very
deep.
easy to follow.
Yeah.
But for this one, also there's another account here from Fat Doctor UK, which I had to do some research into to make sure it wasn't it's
not a troll.
It doesn't look like a parody
Really?
account.
Dr. Asher Larmy, pronouns they, he, weight inclusive doctor, transgender, founder of #NoWay, as in like weighing yourself, campaign against weight stigma and fat oppression. Views my own.
Wow, oppression.
And this person said, once again, just a reminder that The Whale was written by, directed by, and produced by 4 thin, white, rich, able-bodied, cisgender men. Oh, and check out its quote-unquote fat star, who was celebrated and honored at the Oscars last night. What an effing joke.
They don't know what acting
With
is.
a picture of Brendan Fraser just, you know, existing, doing his job, which is acting.
He's the thinnest he's looked in years. He looks like $1 million compared to like what he looked like a few years ago.
He
after
has
his
been
wife,
overweight.
Yeah, when his
so
wife
if
ruined
he's
his
had
life.
that experience, doesn't that satisfy your standard? But even if he hadn't, who cares?
There's this joke, and it's a really dark joke. It's not even, I don't even call it a joke, but you don't see obese people in their 70s and 80s.
Well, you don't.
Do not see that.
It's not
And
a
the
joke.
reason is they die.
Yeah, read it.
Oh, you got one. Matt's S-Box Emporium said 20 whole bucks to troll on PCC now. Big sad. I am a gorilla.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
I mean, that's not even really a joke. I mean, they've done that in episodes of House, which says you don't see a lot of overweight elderly people. That's not a thing. And I was also
There's
thinking,
a reason for
I was
that.
thinking about that too, because there is a very well-known episode of House that involves a morbidly obese guy who's also an agoraphobe who lives in an apartment.
Yeah.
Played by Pruitt
that
Taylor Vince. And the irony of that episode was, like, as House does irony very, very well, he ends up dying of lung cancer, even though he never smoked a cigarette a day in his life. But he's like, so they spend the whole episode trying to figure out how his weight is connected to the fact that he's like something's wrong with him.
But then it like subverts your expectations.
But it was actually good back then when they did it, and it's still tragic in that. And in the very beginning of the episode, he's literally it's House making fun of him for like 5 minutes, and he's like, "Fat joke. They're the only people left you can make fun of." And then he lists all the other groups you can make fun of, which you can't anymore. But he's like, "Oh, except for Jews and black people and women and like he literally lists all the groups that like because it was the early 2000s, and you could still make those jokes back then. I would actually pay money to see them try to make that show again today. Not to actually watch the show, but to watch the writers attempt to write the character.
They wouldn't.
But you know what filled that void is they had to go complete 180 because of how just terrible. Like you said, you can't make those jokes anymore, right?
No.
So they had to do 180, and now like they've got The Good Doctor. Right, so if you ever seen that,
I hate
it's
bathtub
basically
television.
It's basically filled the void. It's always these crazy diagnoses that they only get at the last minute. But instead of like a seasoned guy that's a genius, it's a kid with autism. Yeah. So he'll never make those jokes.
If I remember correctly, there's an episode that like that talks about PDF files as if it's a
medical condition.
Yeah, like if I could be misremembering that.
That's
like
awful.
I remember the article about that. But
I think that all of this outrage marketing is actually doing Brendan Fraser a favor. Because like a lot of people saw The Whale as a big comeback moment for him.
Well, it was.
And now that he's getting hate for it baselessly, people are even more likely to support the project. And I think it's ridiculous to expect that somebody gain hundreds of pounds for a role when that could literally kill them. And he, name an actor who is like 400, 500 pounds with the skill and prestige and experience of Brendan Fraser. There isn't one.
The closest,
and it's not because of oppression or discrimination.
The closest example I can think of is Jonah Hill. He's known for having his drastic weight changes.
He goes back and forth, yes.
He goes back and forth, but he's not 500 pounds.
400, 500, absolutely not.
I would say he's maybe gets close to 300, and then he'll shift 100 pounds.
Like shorten your life by doing that, by yo-yoing and by going to
Christian Bale does this. Christian Bale does this all the time. He drops down for the Machinist.
I didn't see anybody sending Lily Collins any hate when she didn't, drop down to the actual weight that of the character she played in I forget what it was called. It was like To the Bone or something.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
This movie about a girl with anorexia.
Yeah.
She was not expected. Yes, she lost weight for the role, but they used CGI to make her look more emaciated than she was. She was not expected to get down to like 70-something pounds for her role because that's life-threatening. Yeah. Likewise, I don't think that anyone should expect Brendan Fraser to do the same in the opposite direction.
That they should be doing it with CGI. They're like, we wouldn't have a problem with it. Like, it's kind of like we've made this joke before. It's like I've talked to somebody who's like his girlfriend will make him any amount of food, but she won't make him a sandwich because of the stigma around making someone a sandwich. Like they'll let you make somebody fat with CGI, but they won't let you deal with the fat suit because there's a stigma around fat suits.
We all know that from the very start, Lizzo should have been cast as the whale.
That is true. You could have done that. Then they get the race swap too. Yeah. And gender swap.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Well,
do I have to do their job for them?
They'll make a remake in a couple years, anyways. But no, she wouldn't want to do it. Or they could have had.
I just think of the tagline: "Lizzo is the whale."
Oh gosh.
The poster would be incredible. They could have had Rebel Wilson. Rebel Wilson was literally.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. It's like Jurassic Park.
It's Batman Forever.
Sick.
Okay.
Oh, it's not done. There's more. This one was long. I admit it. That one was on the long side.
It's so ridiculous.
Sorry.
It's
Fat Doctor UK also said, the point I'm trying to make here is that other oppressed minorities have made it clear that it is not okay for the white wealthy elite to write, direct, or star in movies about them. This should apply to fat people too, as we are an oppressed minority. This film also won Best Makeup and Hair.
Yep. Thank you.
I think that in order to be an oppressed minority, that should at least be based on an immutable characteristic. Being fat is not an immutable characteristic. It's a choice. Yeah. Sorry.
John Good. Oh, somebody mentioned John Goodman. John Goodman could have. John Goodman's on the heavier side for sure. Like, and he's. I mean, he's a lot older than Brendan Fraser.
No fat actor is fat enough to play the character. In the Whale.
Well,
they would have to get so fat that it would cause them lifelong problems.
Well, the other thing is, like, you're not going to get that performance out of him that he gave. Like, the reason that the movie was well liked was the performance that Brendan Fraser gave. And when you put someone that's either 70 pounds, let's say it's an anorexic person, or someone that's 500 pounds, they're not in a state, like, their body's not physically healthy enough to give their best as an actor.
Right.
Like, I refuse to, and so it's like, you're not going to get the same movie. It's just not going to happen.
I'm sure even if they had fat.
Oh, that's a good, Ethan, I see someone chatted, Ethan Suplee. That's a good example. He was huge, and now he's jacked.
Yep.
Right.
I just I laugh because these people, they're just not. Rebel Wilson had to lose all that weight and then got in trouble for it for losing all the weight. They got mad at her.
Well, she said that she was under contract to be overweight for a while, and then when she lost weight, people were like, you're glorifying anorexia or some shit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's just, it's purely
what is it?
jealousy, the fact that people aren't willing to admit to themselves that being thin is better than being fat objectively. It's better for how you feel and better for how you look, better for, honestly, how much people respect you.
Yeah.
And that's just a fact of life. If you're not willing to admit it to yourself, whether you think that that's ethical or not, that's how it is.
And people constantly, they try to make it like, oh, don't be fat phobic. But it's like, listen,
Everyone's fat phobic,
we're not talking
though.
about being a little bit unhealthy. We're not talking about being a little bit overweight. We're talking about being obese. And that doesn't happen because you
immobile.
ignored, you were lazy for a month and ate like crap. No, that happens because of years of you living a certain way and refusing. I don't care if it's a health condition. There's treatments for it. Yes, it sucks and you have to go an extra mile, but there is a way.
I'm gonna address bring this comment up because I think it's fair. It says Radioactive Girl Scout says being fat is not a choice always. Oh my God, you guys are insufferable on this topic. It is not always a choice. There are medical conditions.
No one denied that there are exceptions.
Yes.
We were just talking about this yesterday in regard to Ozempic.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, most of the time when someone is overweight, it is related to lifestyle. Not just most of the time, the vast majority of the time. And that's why we're addressing it that way. We don't need to make a big disclaimer every single time that we address a topic like this.
I was just going to say, and even those people that do have medical conditions, there's treatment. It sucks. It's going to be hard work, but there's treatment.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that, the complaint about fat suits is grounded in reality. It's obviously you're just like looking for a vector of attack, a way that you can fit into the oppression Olympics.
And the other thing
no
is
one sympathizes.
It's not like people that are slightly overweight or like in a natural body. Like Drew Barrymore's a good example, right? You mentioned her at the beginning of the show. She's not skinny, but she's not overweight, right? She's natural, a little bit bigger, right? But no, that's not the person they're platforming. They platform Lizzo.
Yeah.
Who's just the extreme of the extreme, and that's the issue.
And celebrates it and demands that you also celebrate
and so people
it.
Think
and if you
that's
don't, you're
the norm.
hateful and a bigot.
Yep.
You know,
not only that, but you're fat phobic if you don't date people of a certain size, which is just a whole other level of like violating people's conscience.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
And it's not so black and white,
Yeah.
Agreed. All right, we got some super chats there, Mary.
Alex making beds and writing novel on the side said, just finished watching whatever podcast. Damn, Mary, you sprinkled some holy water on those ... ladies. You were on fire. Oh, hey guys, didn't see you there. Okay, the next one was from Unusable Alpaca. Dark Matter was a great Canadian sci-fi show that was on Netflix. Hulu is the best, but for the love of God, get a skip intro button like Netflix has.
Yeah, most of them have the skip intro button now, and whoever invented that should have gotten stock options and
it doesn't even skip the whole intro though. It leaves like 5 seconds at the end.
I feel like they've got 4 templates, and then it's like not every show lines up with them, so that's what you get,
Yeah.
I love the skip intro button.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Well, but there's also skip recap.
Do you like that it asks you if you're still watching?
Yes, because I do fall asleep very regularly on it, so that does happen to me, and then I have to like figure out how many episodes I have to go back because of whatever I slept through.
That's like a psychological game that's playing with me, because when I hit like continue watching, knowing it'll do that again in 3 episodes, I can't fall asleep. But if I just like don't ask me again, I'm out like that. It's like knowing that it will shut off screws with me.
It's like sleep timers. Then you start counting down the sleep timer, and it becomes like a race against the clock to fall asleep.
That's just you, Brett.
Yeah, that is just me.
Tacti Plati said, Mary is, quote, bad vibes. You did great at the show. Thank you. Yeah, I'm bad vibes, apparently. Potatoes for Seamus said, hi, Brent, Mary, and Kellen. Who's that other guy?
Hey, it's me.
It's Sergey.
Yeah.
Let's do one more, and then we'll move on.
Isaac Martinez said, Guy Barnum, I should be in the whale, not Brendan Fraser. Everyone, we don't know you and we don't care. Brendan's the king.
Yeah, Brendan's got his big comeback that he's going on right now, so that's good.
Did you guys see the photo of him and what's the actress name? It was Short Round. Them embracing.
Oh yeah,
after,
you know that they were in a movie together back in the '90s called Encino Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So they won Oscars on the same night.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Next, we are going to talk about none other than sorry, Dylan Mulvaney's appearance on the Drew Barrymore show. She has like this daytime show that she does. It's not very interesting, especially with guests like this. But what everyone took away from it is that Drew Barrymore prostrated herself on the floor in front of Dylan Mulvaney for seemingly no reason. Do you guys think that this was choreographed?
You could have put any person in that guest chair and it would have been weird. Like,
I mean, anyone. But do you think that they planned it that way, or
yes. Oh, yeah.
She just
absolutely
did
that out of
Did you see the TikToks they were making together?
Yeah.
Of them pretending to kiss.
Because she's never been. Because she was in the movie Never Been Kissed.
Really?
Yep.
On Dylan's account.
I don't know. I didn't look that far. I just saw it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're still at, under a year of Dylan Mulvaney's TikToks about, what it's like to live like a girl. Hasn't even been 365 days yet. I don't even know if it's been 300 days.
Just celebrated just for existing now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird that it's called girlhood, right? Because that implies that you're
younger
child.
Than a woman. Right.
I don't really get that. So this interview wasn't even really an interview. It was just Drew Barrymore stroking his ego, saying it's so amazing what you've done. You're so inspirational.
Why is it inspirational?
Because they've been a woman for such a short period of time. It's incredible what they've gotten done.
They have women solidarity. It's women plus now.
look at how far you've come in such a short time.
And this is kind of like a telling way to word it. Dylan Mulvaney said there's so much hate against the trans community. And what is the weapon that you can use against the trans hate? He said, I think the greatest weapon I can contribute is trans joy. Comedy, talking about hard subjects,
There's
intricate moments of transition, trying to let everyone in to see that. I'm not a
Dylan
monster.
Is a whole joke,
There's nobody less okay with comedy than the trans activist community.
Yeah.
Or genuine joy and lightheartedness.
I can't speak to that. I can only speak to what I see, and that's that they do not like jokes.
No.
They do not like humor.
Well, I guess they're the only ones who get to make jokes.
Yes.
So what's so upsetting to me, though, a bunch of things are about this, but so I just recently saw that certain people on the internet are finding the Book of Mormon photo. So if you guys don't know, Dylan Mulvaney was in the Book of Mormon. An actor before he transitioned. He was in the Book of Mormon. So people think that's a real photo. Some people think he was actually Mormon, and they're blaming religion for this. And so they're using Dylan Mulvaney to attack religion now. And I'm like, come on. I'm like, first of all, that was a play.
Wait, okay.
Yep.
They're saying that Dylan Mulvaney's behavior on TikTok and stuff.
It's because he was raised Mormon, because they think that photo was real.
They're not saying oh, you're trans because you were raised Mormon.
I think that's kind of what they're saying.
Too?
I think it's a very small percentage of people, but it gets so exhausting because I'm like, yo, this is a photo
of trans people that don't make 365 days of girlhood TikToks, who aren't making a fool of themselves on the internet like Dylan Mulvaney
100%.
does.
There's this other photo I saw, and it's because you see Drew Barrymore's kneeling to a man, right? And so there's this photo from early, it's like a propaganda photo from the 1920s, and it says it's a man in bed, and his wife or girlfriend's kneeling beside him, serving him food, and it says, make sure she knows her place. Yeah. And they put that photo right beside the Drew Barrymore photo.
It's not a good look.
And I'm like, wow. And it was
Also-
like, look how much we've accomplished in 70 years.
After that
Yeah.
happened, after Drew Barrymore gets on the floor, Dylan Mulvaney quickly also got on the floor. So it didn't last that long. So they both just started kneeling on the floor, getting really close to each other. It was very uncomfortable to watch. And I don't know what this is,
so
other than
touching.
like LARPing that you're at a slumber party in elementary school.
Right, that's what I felt like. I got
Talking
the
about
vibe
what
from it.
boys you like. I don't.
Also, if you look at this picture, Dylan Mulvaney looks like weird, like Andrew Garfield in drag.
I was just going to
no.
say, you can tell just by Dylan's armpits that it's a man. You can just tell. You can tell by the knee.
When I
Yeah,
when I
there's so many
first
things,
saw
yeah.
this image of Drew Barrymore like kneeling like that, I thought based on the side profile that was Anne Hathaway, and I was
Oh
like
my goodness.
scrolling past. No offense to you, Anne Hathaway, if you're watching, I guess. Well, actually, you called abortion a mercy, so never mind.
There you go. Take it back.
But I thought it was Anne Hathaway. But then I realized, and I'm very disturbed by this affect, okay? Because I think that a lot of these people, when they transition, try to, instead of, trying to look like a woman, they try to look like a certain specific woman that they idolized growing up.
It's a costume.
And in this case, I think that it is Jackie Kennedy.
I've heard it
true.
was, it was, who's Hepburn?
Audrey Hepburn,
That's who
too?
that's
Yeah,
what it's supposed
could
to
be.
be.
Definitely.
I actually
yeah.
see more Audrey Hepburn than I do.
No, I
Jackie
think that's
O.
like been stated. I think that's what he's going for. Yeah.
Interesting.
But you're
He's got
looking
he's
more
got a
like
thing.
Jackie O.
It's
you
a
know?
costume in a lot of ways. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
And
it's-
there's this gigantic fake hair piece on the on the
Well,
back.
Brett, you disagree with me here, but I guarantee that Dylan Mulvaney is like the fame and success that he's had is just because of the backlash from the right. Right? He does stuff like this. We all freak out.
The reactionary.
We
I
all
disagree.
freak out, and then the left also adds to the fire by defending him.
I
So
disagree
you know what?
because-
I decided like unless someone talks to me about Dylan Mulvaney, I'm not talking about Dylan Mulvaney.
Well, here we are then.
I know,
Well,
but
I think I disagree because Dylan Mulvaney has gotten so much direct support from actual like mega corporations.
sure.
Like this person is being artificially propped up by the
1.7
media.
million followers on Instagram.
Yeah,
Like that's
and,
not
like,
that's got nothing to do with the right.
honestly, Drew Barrymore has more of an interest in getting Dylan Mulvaney on her show than Dylan Mulvaney has an interest in getting on Drew Barrymore's show. It benefits the celebrity and the
Yeah, it benefits Drew Barrymore more, but
Clint said, "Howdy people, I gotta admit, though I vehemently oppose just about everything from Dylan, gotta respect how he stands up to so much scrutiny with such grace. Takes a lot of balls." Absolutely.
Well done.
Nice one. Yeah.
people
And,
will do anything for fame now.
Yeah.
And that means
Yeah,
like if
yeah,
you and they've just chosen a route that's going to include heavy scrutiny and heavy criticism from one side of the aisle or the other. You can make the same comment about the people at the Daily Wire or any of these other companies that do it going the other direction. That they're choosing a life that will be financially prosperous in a lot of ways, but they believe heavily in their message. And I'm sure I don't think that Dylan Mulvaney doesn't believe what he's saying. I'm sorry, what she's saying. I believe that I believe they believe it, but I don't know if it's just weird.
Well, what Drew Barrymore, it doesn't make sense that she is doing this because, like, do you remember last year when people got mad at her for
Oh yeah.
frolicking
Yep.
in the rain?
Yep.
Yep. Because of white
it's-
privilege.
It
Well,
shows
yeah.
that she has white privilege if she's
Right.
like
Mary.
carefree and
Remember that.
frolicking in the rain.
She learned her lesson.
Yep. Oh, and,
I mean, is this like the ultimate like bending of the knee?
Yeah.
Her
She
more
did
than
the work.
anyone should know that you don't respond to the outrage marketing.
No, but here's why it worked. If you look at this, Drew Barrymore to host the 2023 MTV Movie and
Nice.
TV,
Oh,
TV
yep.
Awards. They're like, hey, we didn't like that white privilege that stuff about you dancing in the rain. That's not allowed during COVID. You can't dance in the rain. But if you bow down at the altar of Dylan Mulvaney, we'll let you host an award show.
I mean, that's how it goes. She gains more from this stunt than Dylan Mulvaney even did.
For sure.
Dylan Mulvaney already has the institutional approval and the
Yeah.
hype and
From
the
Biden.
brand deals
Yeah.
and the politicians. Literally, every strata of society has like united in lockstep to prop this person up. No wonder people are thinking maybe I should take on this identity so that I can feel celebrated and have attention paid to me.
Sketch Therapy says, how can rain discriminate? This is confusing.
It's like,
we said the same thing.
It's not
literally,
rain,
the
it's
woman
fact.
in the video was like, well, black creators started the trend of frolicking in the rain. And also, you're frolicking in the rain because you don't have oppression to worry about.
I was going to say, if the woke crowd had its way, only the original inventors of things can use them.
Yeah.
So, right? So, like Nikola Tesla invented electricity. All right, I guess America, we're screwed. We don't get power anymore. I'm just
Yeah.
going to deal with it because you know what? That's his. Who am I? Who am I to use
Stay in your
something-
lane.
Exactly.
Stay in your lane.
Thank you, Brett.
There's also, did we get one? Steve Ryman said, people razz on Dylan saying he is making a mockery of women. We never ask if any of the mockery is deserved. Equality means a woman's traits and characteristics may be lampooned as ruthlessly as we would those of any man.
I mean, we can't even answer the question about what a woman is anymore without like it being like a 9-page thesis anymore, so it doesn't really matter.
I'm trying to understand the nuance in this message here. I mean, I guess that means you're thinking Dylan Mulvaney's performance is kind of like purposefully and consciously mocking women and has something to do with feminism. I mean, I guess that would mean feminism has made women into a shadow of like what they once were.
Yeah.
If anything, I think it's just that women don't recognize themselves as like being unique in any way or different in any meaningful way from men, when in reality, like the sex difference is deeper than anyone knows.
I was going to say, it's the yin and yang. It's life is all about balance, and men and women are that balance.
Nate Garland said on the Whale Talk, as someone with lupus, the fat acceptance is tiring. As a husband and father of 3 kids, I have to make a conscious effort to live and eat well and pay for appropriate medical treatment for my family's sake.
That's the mature and responsible way to handle something that may not be entirely within your control.
Yeah.
Right?
Honor,
Like
respect.
and that goes for anything in that context, right? Like you have to work hard to stay healthy no matter what conditions befall you. And it's like this would come up a lot. Like people talk about like the issue is like, look, your food is poisoned, and in a lot of ways they're right. It is.
Yeah.
It's still your responsibility to do the best with either what you've got or to find what you need to live healthy.
And so many people talk the talk, but you know what people actually respect is when you actually do things and you actually walk the walk, right? There's this guy I follow, following his weight loss journey. His name's Dave Dana, so shout out, follow him. But he is huge. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. He's a big dude, but he's making progress. And every day he tweets at 4 a.m. of his butt in the gym.
Yep.
And that's why people respect him.
It's a mindset
he's
difference.
Big, but he's hustling and he's trying.
And he's focusing on what he can change and what he can do to work on.
I've seen multiple friends lose significant amounts of weight. So whenever anyone tells me that they can't, it's like, nah, like you're just lazy or you're eating a ton a night in a particular way. Like there are things that are contributing to it. It's almost always,
especially
almost
if
always.
you're young.
Yeah, it's just, I just don't believe it.
It always is going to feel better to be uplifted and praised for something you're doing and earning rather than an identity that you adopted that has nothing to do with you.
Do you think that a lot of I'm kind of circling back to the Dylan Mulvaney stuff now. Do you think part of this is that women are scared to speak up? Like they're scared to speak up and feel like they're or have they been socially conditioned?
The women watching this show clapping mindlessly.
They've been socially conditioned well.
Yes, so conditioned, and I think it's honestly because I'm gonna say this. I don't know if you guys are gonna agree. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna say it after this.
Or you could just yell it. Yell it now.
I'm gonna lose my voice by the end of this. I swear.
Batman. Jim Carrey is the Riddler.
Yeah.
Better than Paul Dano.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. What I was gonna say is I think that women are more susceptible to social conditioning than men. They're less individualistic. They're more collectivist by nature.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so easily manipulated into like this situation where they're quite literally applauding their own erasure, their own subjugation, and really the death of women is when they stop being considered special and unique.
It's happening. It's happening in sports every day. It's happening in sports every day. There was that team recently that refused to compete against a team that was that had a trans athlete, and they got banned from all future tournaments.
So dumb. So dumb. Last year there was a volleyball team that decided to be caring and allow a transgender. I don't even know the term. They allowed a man who is now a woman on the team, and because men are just so much bigger and stronger, he like gave a girl a concussion and she was done for the season. That's how hard he hit the ball. And it's just like stuff like that there's a real concern here. Yeah. But you're absolutely right, Mary. Like, I think that's why maybe if we go back to 2005, look at the most popular women celebrities. They were strong and powerful, and they were willing to fight for themselves. Like what names come to my mind? Like Beyonce, right? Like she is her own woman. She made her money. She's not waiting for someone to tell her what to do. And we've lost that.
I think even then we were kind of lost because there's that mindset that kind of Destiny's Child championed, which is like
single ladies,
be independent, be single, make your own money. It's
that was
like
the end.
We say today, like chase the bag, dump him.
But sure. But
don't rely on a man for anything, including even like love.
Stop. Talk is talk. But look at what Beyonce did. Did she stay single?
People aren't listening. People don't care about what she did. They care about the music. That's what sticks with people.
The example she says is so much less relevant than the message of the music she puts out.
To me, like when someone does an action rather than just giving a speech, it does speak more. But
that music was the beginning of the end for relationships in a lot of cases in America. It was like.
I mean, I would say that it began much earlier than even that. But
no fault divorce and rewarding people for having kids out of wedlock, sure. But I'm just saying that now you are fundamentally rewarded for not getting married. Or you're rewarded for either getting divorced, but also we've made people feel as if any form of commitment or relationship becomes a form of oppression just by the very nature of the relationship being something where you have to rely on the other person.
I don't know why that's looked down upon. I would love for someone to take half of my bills. Like, come on.
I mean, but it's not just that.
It's also coming from mega rich women who don't relate to the experience of the average woman, but want the average woman to sing along and clap for them, and be in this united struggle when they have nothing in common.
And to be fair, like in a lot of those discussions, the stuff about being your own person, doing this and that, being your own person is one thing, but not being able to share who you are with another person in a healthy way is a completely different thing. Yeah. And the nuance of that gets lost in the context of the music, and people come to maybe not the wrong conclusions, but the conclusions they draw are often unhelpful and unhealthy for society as a whole. And I think we see that each and every day. Yeah. I don't know if that same thing holds true in other countries. Like I have a limited, perspective of like, I have friends in other countries, and there just doesn't seem to be the same animus. Okay, like on International Women's Day, it was really funny seeing like friends of mine that live in other countries like posting about like the stuff that we read about literally every single day. So it's like women posting about like, it's International Women's Day, like support women, but it's like they don't make that a discussion that happens every single day because they aren't hung up on wedge issues and identity politics the way we are.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a generational thing.
Oh, we just got a super chat. Clint said, speaking of the whale, I recommended it on a first date, and surprisingly, after that first scene, 2 more dates, and me being out of the country for 53 days, she's willing to plan a 4th date.
Nice! Good call. Good call. Well, don't let her listen to Single Ladies by Beyonce. Don't do it.
You guys
get her away from that album.
The Whale together at the theater or something?
Bow chicka wow wow.
That's not, I wouldn't consider that a great first date movie, but depends on the person. It looks like it's going well for you. I wouldn't have watched it because it just sounds really sad, and I don't like watching movies that make me feel sad.
True, yeah.
All right, let's just go into super chats. Disco Jensen said, seeking validation and recognition for their poor lifestyle choices is the body positivity movement in a nutshell.
Yep.
I agree.
Look, and also, like, maybe this is just me, but like for a lot of things, like I tend to fall on the side of it's always better to take responsibility for your own actions. Like for me, Like my weight will fluctuate here and there a little bit, but it's always diet related.
Oh, yeah.
I understand that I don't eat healthy enough, and that's a problem that's of my own making, right?
True.
And even when you go through addiction, one of the hardest things that you can do when you go through addiction is you have to learn to accept responsibility for your own actions. That what you're doing to yourself is a destruction of self. You can. I've seen people make up every excuse in the book. Like, look, this is how I got started. It wasn't fair. I got started at a young age, and in a lot of cases, that's true. I have my own stories there that would fall in line with that. But at the end of the day, you're the one who makes your decisions,
and that doesn't change
making
anything.
the decision not to stop, as hard as it may be, it's going to be the hardest decision you ever make in your entire life. But it's still your decision to make, and it's your duty as a human being who has to live on. And a lot of people would say it's your duty as a human being to live a good life. Some would say it's to start a family, to procreate and all these things, whatever. But it's your duty to live a good life and try to make a mark on the world.
Yeah.
A lot of people would say that. I don't know how I fall in that line, whether it's your responsibility to be a positive person, but I think it's you have a duty to yourself to live the best life you possibly can.
Is it even possible to leave a mark on the world anymore, though, for that regular person?
Yeah, that's I mean,
I was just thinking
if you have
about
family, yes, absolutely.
I'm a history buff. I love watching old shows about early America.
Yep.
And the one thing that really depresses me is the fact that all the land's been discovered. There is no frontier for us to just be like, I don't know what's out there, but I'm gonna go.
Except for Mars.
We can't go there though. I mean, yes, it's there, but
The deep sea?
it's like not possible. The deep sea, sure,
That's kind of physically
and I guess that's kind of what people are doing. But the only people that are actually doing it is billionaire James Cameron, right?
Yeah.
So.
The ordinary guy can't.
And it's like that was such a huge part of civilization was finding new land and making it your own and just creating.
Totally, but
And you can't
have
do
you
that.
been there though?
Where? Mars?
No, just at all these places. Have you been there?
No, and you're right. I
That's
can't
one
experience
big
them,
thing.
but every place I go, humans are already there. You know what I mean?
I think the big part is
There are remote places still.
Sure,
And
I know. You can go
totally relate.
exploring and hiking and everything.
Yeah, I've had the drive to go to places like Nuuk and Greenland just because I feel like it's remote. It'd be cool to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, just to do that, just to go to like is the island out in Inaccessible Island. I forget what it's called. It's the one that's like in the middle of the Atlantic. I just want to go to these places because they're very unique. You know what I mean? It's just like a place to go.
The Bikini Atoll.
Maybe I might dodge that one just to avoid any like radiation potential. But like I mean, that being said, I would go to like there's this one island that's like halfway in. It's in the middle of the Pacific. I forget about it, like the details about it, but they have like a team that's like rebuilding the whole island how it was. It was like a major operating base all the way through the 90s, and people are like seeing them. Like the amount of like degradation, like 10 years was crazy. It's a really cool thing. I love that stuff. I don't know. I feel like there are still places you can go where you won't feel like there have been
Yeah, but
humans,
everything's
you know what I
owned
mean?
by something. And
But at the
entity,
very
it's
least,
like-
your
I understand
exploration
what you mean.
is for you. It's not about
Right.
whether it's been discovered before. It's about in skating.
And this is about leaving a mark. So I
Yeah.
guess you could. Yeah, I understand what you're saying there too. But you can still be the first person to plank there, bro.
Yeah.
Be the first person
There
to
you go,
like
just be creative.
do extreme ironing there. You can do something that's new in a different place as
Brett,
well.
I
You can
think
do
you're
that.
right. I think that if you have a family, that's the way that you make a mark on the world.
I mean, that
by,
seems to be the one that has the longest lasting
being
impact,
famous,
right?
Yeah.
Legacy.
It's not even about being famous though, but it's like, you can look back and you see the evidence of the ancient Romans. You see the physical structure.
Greek
Maybe this is just a
legacy
guy
concept,
thing. Maybe
yeah.
this is just like a guy thing to be interested
Yeah,
in.
but all of the people
like,
that created that had mothers and that raised them and fathers that raised them.
that is a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, without the mother's duty there, we don't get any of that stuff.
In a lot of ways, Hollywood has done their level best to degrade that and to make that unimportant, to make motherhood and fatherhood seem as if it doesn't matter when it does matter.
Yeah, definitely.
Who's going to inherit this garbage heap?
Good question.
X said Tusk didn't star a real walrus person.
What? It did. Yeah.
That ruins the
That's
illusion.
I
problematic.
now I got to go
really
watch
annoys
Puss
me.
in Boots and make sure that's not an actual cat
Yeah,
in Puss
true.
in Boots.
Gordon Shumway said Mary loved you on whatever. When you were trying to explain to the girls that did OF, it could lead to their kids getting bullied, was difficult to watch. Their responses killed my hope for humanity.
Oh man, like I did see the clip where you're like, well, it's tacky to do an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
It's like, see, remember
and
when
she was like, "Oh, you're a bad vibe."
Remember when I told you that I don't do cringe well? Like I'm like, I saw that and I'm like, oh, Oh, I don't want to watch anymore.
You have the
I don't
patience
wanna
of a
watch.
saint, because if they started acting like that and I got those responses, I would have gotten so
Colin would
upset.
have that.
You're a
This is
bad vibe.
It's like, what are you? You're saying nothing. You were saying nothing. You're an imbecile, and the only thing you're good for.
Now I'm
nothing.
picturing her kids. Her kids
I'm
come
gonna be
home.
I had to stop myself.
Yes.
Her kids come home and they're like, "Mommy, I'm getting made fun of at school because you have an OnlyFans." And they're like, her mom's like, "You're a bad vibe."
You
Okay.
need to just like grow up and stop caring what people think about my behavior.
Hate it all.
All right, let's do 2 more and then we will move on.
Nate 1776 said, "I'm a big man and you guys are right. I don't get why people get mad. If you do, fix yourself."
And I think with the
Fair
hardest,
enough.
I think the hardest part about that for a lot of people is it comes off as uncaring. Like it comes off as not rude. It does kind of come off
Okay,
as rude.
well,
but
when
it's-
I say having an OnlyFans is tacky, it comes off as uncaring and rude.
Yeah.
But, you
Do you know who
I'm
does?
saying a lot of people
sometimes
have a hard time with that.
people need to have standards actually vocalized for them because that's not common these days.
Well, and it's like, look at sumo culture in Japan. They don't get body shamed. And do you know why? Because they're athletes and they're on strict diets, and they're not just big out of laziness. Like, that is a design, that was a goal.
Have you seen them try to get like NFL linebackers out of breath? It's like impossible because they're in such good shape.
Yeah.
They're enormous, but they're in fantastic shape.
Yeah, and you don't see them getting body shamed.
No, yeah, it's because they will just crush you if you do. Like no, like you might body shame them from not just like you better be 2 continents away if you're
for
doing
real.
that. Like the computer isn't going to save you.
Matt's S-Box Emporium said, "I used to think being fat wasn't a choice until I got a job pushing carts and discovered self-hate. 90 pounds in 7 months before my enlistment."
Oh, yeah.
My very
Wow.
first job.
Sick.
My very first job was
Props.
pushing carts, and that
See,
will.
when I don't put my cart away, I'm actually contributing to society.
No.
This is your proof.
You still have to put the cart
This
back
is your
when it's
proof.
in the corral.
She's keeping the cart guy employed.
Look, and when I did that job, and it was probably true for him too. The electric part that pushes it, that didn't exist.
Oh,
We
I
pushed
know.
that crap by hand.
We had
so
like
it's
a belt or something
Yeah.
that would go around the front and the back.
I'll never forget.
Oh,
I
have you ever-
would get in trouble for like wearing black sweatpants because it's like snowing 20,000
Yeah.
inches outside, and I'm
Yeah.
like literally outside like pushing carts against mounds of snow, and they're like, you have to wear like chinos, and I'm like, I'm gonna die. Can I come inside?
Yeah, or you pinch your finger when it's that cold in between 2 of the carts. Oh man,
Oh, it's all Mary's fault too because she's left
Mary.
him out there.
Oops.
you were the problem.
All right, we are gonna save the rest, and we're
Being
gonna
so
come
toxic.
back. And be-
Okay. Next, we are going to talk about an epic cat fight that happened on Twitter over the weekend. I loved watching this happen from a distance. I would never want to be involved. So
I have to admit that when Mary pitched this to me, I'm like, I don't get it, but I get it.
But I, being a woman, am intimately aware that, cat fights are the best form of entertainment. And this is what that was. Isabella Riley actually wasn't here all that long ago.
Okay.
I think she was here like a month ago, right?
Yeah.
So she tweeted this video of Iggy Azalea on Emily Ratatouille's podcast talking about her OnlyFans, and basically defending it, saying that, hey, if I'm going to be sexualized against my will, why don't I just monetize the fact that I am being sexualized and objectified? And this is the exact take that I heard on Sunday when I was on whatever. The girls that had OF justify it, saying, if other people are going to sexualize me when I don't want them to, why don't I just do it myself?
It's
and
like the gym.
monetize it?
It's like the girl at the gym who got mad at the guy for supposedly staring at her, but she has an OnlyFans. 'cause
Right.
She's fine
In
with
her
it as long
insane warped
as long as
logic,
you
that makes
Listen,
sense.
there's
as long
hope.
as you can monetize it.
There's hope. Did you guys see the new one of the gym girl? Right, so she tries.
Oh no, yeah, I
there's a
see.
new
Yeah,
girl.
There's more.
Yep. And then the guy is like, "Hey, can I help you with something?" And she's like, "Keep it up, keep it up." And he's like, what's going on? And then so basically he ended up being an employee. He thought she was actually like in trouble or needed help with something. He was really just trying to be helped. She got trespassed from the gym because she tried to make it a whole thing.
Right.
I mean,
And-
she was
Good. I'm
palpably
glad.
horny at the idea that guys are like salivating
Yeah.
over her. At
To
the
be fair,
gym,
like a lot of
so-
the people that in like gym culture are starting to make fun of that now. Like there's so many hilarious skits that are being made. Like there's this
there are.
amazing one I saw the other day. It's the Mission Impossible theme, and the guy's trying to like walk through the gym gym, and he's like constantly stepping
God.
around and over cameras.
He's like tripping
funny.
over equipment because he can't look up.
No, he's like, because he's no, it's like, so there's a girl here, he can't look there, so he looks this way. There's a camera on the ground.
He's
He has
like,
to step over the camera. He gets past there. There's a camera taped to like a piece of equipment. It's like literally on a dumbbell and pointed down at another. He's like, oh my God, he has to go under that one. And as the Mission Impossible theme is going through, and all of these women were part of this skit where they're all like pretending to like try to look sexy while they're working out. Well, this guy's just trying to not look at them, not get in their shot, and just get to the other side of the
You
gym.
straight up should not be allowed to record anything at the gym. You should not be allowed to have your phone. It should probably be a rule that you lock your phone in your locker, and that's that. Because people have taken this shit too far.
Or just have like a phone friendly section of the gym where you can.
Yeah, you weirdos who want social media videos can go over to that section. It'll be there, like a nice segregated section of the gym, and then the normal people can go over here and actually work out.
You need one of those, like in How I Met Your Mother, there's an episode where they missed the Super Bowl, but they didn't want it to be spoiled. So the Ted like has this helmet, and like, he can only see like two little pinpoints, and he can't hear anything, he can't say anything. He's like falling all over the place. That's what you need to wear to the gym. Yep.
Let's play this clip of Iggy Azalea talking to Emrata real quick so we get some context.
So much money. I made record labels so much money off my body. I made a lot of people so much money.
Hold on, I will go back and we will. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
I made record labels so much money off my body. I made a lot of people so much money off my body, and I got the smallest cut off my own body and my own
like you're a bad
work
negotiator.
and my own ideas. And I don't think I have to say sorry about the fact that I want to commodify my own it's been commodified, and I wasn't even the main fucking benefactor of it. So
they never understand that what the record label provides is infrastructure,
right?
And that they would never be able to do that on their own.
She's also admitting that what was mostly being sold throughout her career was her body and not her talent in music.
I hate to break it to Iggy, but the appeal of Iggy Azalea, or however you say her name, is like a Guinness Book of World Records. You're not hot. You're just ridiculously like. Parts of your body are just ridiculously shaped and out of proportion.
She looks like
that's
Carmella.
why people look at you.
She looks like Carmella from the WWE mixed with Hillary Duff.
Or like Mike Jackson.
I'm like control. I want control over this.
And I enjoy it. I'm gonna do it anyway. That's the thing. I'm doing it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna post pictures like that anyway because I like it and I think they're beautiful and I like my breasts. Fuck so.
I mean, can you interrogate your own desires and take accountability for your own desires for like 10 seconds?
Can we have a fair discussion? Do we think that she actually believes that, or is that does she not understand that part of it maybe yes, she's very happy with the way she looks, but she's also happy with the way other people are happy with the way she looks?
Yeah, I mean, she's still being objectified, but now it's on her terms.
I mean, everyone knows this. Men look at women, and women look at themselves being looked at by men. Yeah. This is the inherent structure.
I dress like this for the girls.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you're like bleaching your eyebrows and, I don't know, like wearing...
I don't know, Doja
like a
Cat
crocheted moo-moo, then maybe I believe you're dressing for the girls and the gays.
I was gonna say like Doja Cat who shaves her eyebrows and shaves her head. Yeah,
that's
she's
a
dressing for the
perfect
girls.
example of like signaling to other women or gay people. But like for Iggy Azalea, you've got the lip injections, you've gotten countless plastic surgery operations and Botox and everything you can think of, injections all over your body, and like probably a BBL, probably cool sculpting, all this different stuff. You did that because you wanted to look good to other people, not just you. But maybe it was including you, but it wasn't just you.
But also, we are in a culture now where they're just you're never going to be happy with the way you look, and the standards are always kind of unattainable.
No, I think I disagree. No, I think people are trying to like make kids believe that that's the case, and that's not the case.
I'm saying it's the case for her.
I mean,
in her
maybe.
industry?
I'm saying for her, she's at a point now where she's never going to be 100% satisfied with the way she looks.
No, it's like Ollie London. Like I didn't know his story before he came here, and he tried all this different surgery, and it's like every time it just made things worse.
Once you start making changes, you're gonna like get addicted to it. I think some people even get addicted to getting tattoos.
Oh yeah.
Like
I've got a handful of tattoos. You get a good feeling after you get one.
Yeah,
you
like you need to be self-aware of that. But all I'm hearing from Iggy Azalea is, I want to do it anyway. I like doing it. And it's like, could you ask yourself why?
Yeah.
Are you even capable of introspection about why you like showing your body so much?
And what a self-own, because it's like now instead of making other men have to go through the work to get this content, I'm just going to provide it to everybody. And it's like, okay, cool.
Well,
the patriarchy wins. Good job, Iggy.
What do you mean by that?
Right, so she's saying she started an OnlyFans because she wanted other people to stop objectifying her. Okay. She wanted like with this, like whether it's like a skimpy outfit she's wearing or whatever, right? She wants to put the ball in her hands. Okay. So now she gets to release this content.
Well, she is making them go through hoops to get it. She's charging them.
Just her hoops.
Yeah.
The price of maybe a McDonald's entree.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So she total cell phone. Like people were crying about the patriarchy, and yet they do this stuff. You know, it's like,
and the model from the Blurred Lines music video is telling us about the power and control she has over her own sexuality.
Ratatouille is, or that's Iggy Azalea?
No, that's Ratatouille. But the point is that to them, this is their answer to the patriarchy because they're doing it on their terms. The patriarchy is the record label that sexualizes and objectifies her while taking 75% of the profits, not taking into account that they provide all the infrastructure, all the context, all of the things that got her to the place she is now required the patriarchal record labels and the sexualization that comes with it.
Exactly, and the ability to earn like hundreds of millions of dollars. She's going to get 25% of maybe. If she still earns hundreds of millions of dollars, you're still talking about $1 million at some point there. So it's doing good for you.
And I don't think they realize how important that infrastructure is. Just the contacts. Think of all
the... It's not going to one CEO. It's going to an entire industry that I was working in. I promise it's there. And like we still want money too. Like I don't want to be working for free for these people. They don't earn a tiny bit of money for certain people. Yes, some people do earn a ton of money, but it's way bigger than just that or her.
You know, as annoying as Billie Eilish is, she's low-key based when it comes to this, because she said from the start of her career, like, I'm wearing baggy clothes and just F you. That's the reason why. This is what I'm wearing. Get used to it.
She's
and you know, she's grown up. But I would even argue, even though like there's that classic photo shoot she just did, but I would at least say it was somewhat classy, even though she's like showing cleavage.
I don't know. Even that seemed very
at least
robotic,
she's wearing clothing.
It's a good question. What is OnlyFans cut? So is it just that now you're getting 70 and OnlyFans is getting 30 rather than the record label getting 70 and you getting 30?
Is that like you're really just earning what like you said, like the price of like a McDonald's meal? It's like you take the whole term snack like way literally.
Yeah, the average OnlyFans creator gets like $100 a month or something, and I'm sure the median is even lower than that.
Yeah, it definitely.
So
is.
Here's what Isabella Riley Moody said on Twitter. Iggy Azalea explaining how doing OnlyFans gives her the power and control she always wanted. It's so sad to see celebrities promoting selling your body online to young women. Make it stop. And then Iggy Azalea somehow came across this tweet and she said, "Baby, you're doing promo for me right now. You stop. LMAO." And
True.
Then Isabella Riley said, I don't know if I could even repeat this on YouTube. I'll just say, how about this? I will say 304. Yeah. I just learned this term.
Yes.
She said, really? I want to tear down 304s promoting selling their bodies online to creepy old men. Yep. Iggy said, "Stop calling your husband a creepy old man, babe. He's super sweet to me."
It is such a cat fight. It's just so it's so women.
And then really Isabella Riley's husband jumps in and he says, "Dear Iggy, I don't like 304s."
Okay,
he got involved in the cat
right now to help him understand.
Oh, I get it now. Yeah. I always thought it was like the LA area code, so it was just or something.
It's not. That's the.
I thought that too, but it's actually the West Virginia area code, and I was like, "What the heck? If this is an area code, you're throwing shade at me."
When I got here, I was so psyched to know that. I was like 304.
Oh, we got a super chat.
Great.
Steve Ryman said, "Well, okay, if it's a spicy warning, how about Kellen does it?" Yeah.
You want me to do it?
He gave me a spicy warning. I haven't read it yet, but
all right, spicy warning, Mary. What do you call an emo a cappella group? Self-harmony. What do rock? Dude, Brett's done.
That's a good one. That's a good one already.
I liked it.
Hold on. We're still going. What do rocks and women have in common? The flat ones get skipped.
Oh.
Why are emo jokes so funny? Because they cut deep. Had a yo mama joke, but YouTube says no.
Oh.
Like I'm starting to trust Steve, but as soon as I do that, I know he's gonna just send the most absurd message of the super chats, But so far, everything he said has been within the YouTube rules, so I appreciate that.
Hopefully, yes.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so then what happened next in this Twitter spat is Iggy sent Isabella Riley's husband a link to her OnlyFans and said, hit me up later and send me a pic of your beep. I'll only charge you half to say I'd never suck it.
I do have that on screen there.
Jeez.
Yes.
You're so trashy. Like, that reply just it was way too low.
I mean, it just like
You're
just
replying to
screams
someone's
insecurity.
husband like this.
Yeah, it's insecurity.
After he already put you down.
Do you think, but a lot of this is because social media is tailor-made for the way women fight with each other, which is catty, underhanded,
not saying it to their face.
It's one of the worst parts of like the Hollywood myth that women are these mythical creatures that can do no wrong.
They just perfectly get along, and if women ran the world, we wouldn't have war.
There is nothing I hate more than the women, like when you go on Instagram and it's like women supporting women. I'm like, I can think of nothing less real
supportive
than women. Like every woman that's ever posted a video that has like the gif of women supporting women. I'm like, I bet you, I'm like, if I went through this girl's messages and you within 5 messages you will find her talking shit about someone that is also a woman.
Yep. Where would society be without intra-female competition and gossip? I mean, this is an evolutionary survival tactic, if anything. So I saw more.
Got one right there.
Oh, okay. We got another super chat. Clef the Misfit said, it depresses me that with a master's and 3 years of relevant work experience, I got to grind to get a 60K job. But any marginally hot girl can make 100K plus annually dancing on TikTok or 1 million plus getting naked on patriarchy where?
That's not true. That's like, look, 90% of the women on OnlyFans are equivalent to SoundCloud rappers.
Yep.
Yeah,
they do not make that much money. In fact,
on average,
they are making very little. And that's why, like, it's actually a flex for the women that make a bunch of money on OnlyFans. They put in their bios top point whatever percentage on OnlyFans.
Just because.
So just don't.
Just to say.
I will say though, the only to be devil's
right
advocate there. Like, I will say it's probably easier for a woman to become a millionaire on OnlyFans than it is a man.
Well,
but the chances are still low, though. Like,
sure,
very
that
low.
gender wage
and
gap.
I wouldn't say marginally hot. I think you have to be like pretty hot to make 1 million plus on OnlyFans.
And those are the ones that have invested the money in their bodies.
And if you have like some other shtick, like if you're from a reality TV show or something,
or they're kept. They've got sugar daddies
or something like that. Yes.
I think you, Brett, I think you really did roll a 20 on that comment about like social media is like the way that people argue and bicker. We were talking about Moist Critical and Sneeko last night.
Oh, I finally watched that whole video today. It's so great.
What's happened? I'm totally out of the loop
night,
here.
He posted one way after he called it the best response to a response video ever on YouTube, which I agree, it's phenomenal.
I'll have to watch that one.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Long story short, they're both beefing with each other. Serge, you could probably explain it better than me, but words have escalated to them both flexing firearms on camera in YouTube videos. And I'm like, this is what social media has created. 50 years ago, someone would have said something to each other, there would have been a little scuffle, and that's it.
Yep.
They would have got it taken care of.
Well, they wouldn't have interacted with each other at all.
Well, that's true too.
Also,
they wouldn't have this money. They wouldn't have none of this would have I don't know. I was watching a short on YouTube the other day of Brett Weinstein on Joe Rogan's thing. He said the only major influence in he said the comparison between 1910 to 1950 to 1950 to now. The 1910 to 1950 was thousands of years of differences and change, and then from 1950 to here, the only major thing that really happened, I think it is 1970 too, was the internet and was phones. Yeah. Other than that, there's not been any major innovation.
I would actually even say that the internet is a separate achievement from phones with internet. I think society fundamentally changed far more once phones had the internet, and you no longer had kind of the barrier of your home as a place to get information.
Right, cyborg reality, which we all are.
I did kind of laugh at Moist Critical, like he's like, they're not clips, they're mags, they're mags, and I was like, that's true, but it's like, because I made a tweet the other day about how they call them silencers, but they're suppressors. It's basically grammar Nazi, but it's firearms Nazi.
They're gonna get like red flag law or something.
Yeah.
Dude, I get the response from Moist Critical, but for both of them, I'm like, God, this is so like when they talk about dumb alpha male behavior, it's this. Like,
thank you.
Sick. Number 3.
But
I need this. I'll pair this one back. I'll pair the next one back to 20 seconds or to 15 seconds.
This is more than that?
No, this is 20. I'll pair it back from 20 to 15.
Okay.
Everyone, go watch Batman Forever. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how good Batman Forever was.
But I don't know. To finish my thought, I guess I got a message from Moist Critical. Right? Do not even interact with Sneeko, because if you're gonna lower yourself to his level, he's gonna win, because he's been down there for a lot longer than you have, bud. You know, just stay where you are. You don't need to interact with them.
Wouldn't it be nice to be like to be Moist Critical? It's like you just post a video of like a movie review and it just goes boom, 1 million views in like less than an hour.
Yeah, it's wild.
Insane.
I think that the
One
internet
with no message, just OJ for me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I think that the way that we argue on the internet has feminized men as well, because they're used to like, you know, actually physically concluding a feud in person, and now they've been reduced to, you know, coming up with clever clapbacks and underhanded remarks,
which is dorky in a lot of ways.
It's dorky.
You have to think
it's
about
feminine.
Yeah.
Wolfman, Sneeko is not better. Sneeko lets his significant others get passed around. Sneeko is not better.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Well, the point is that for Iggy Azalea, like, it would have been better for both of them to just not get into this scuffle, but it benefits Iggy Azalea especially to get into this type of stuff.
Here's another part of this argument. So Isabella Riley said, a woman's body is supposed to create children, not be sold as a commodity online to creepy men. Why is this controversial? And then Iggy said, says who, LMAO? We are all free to commodify our bodies however we see fit. I used mine for creating children and getting money. So guess I got you beat. Beep. This is just zero class. And once again, not thinking about the consequences, because you're going to, obviously your kid is going to grow up. Yeah. Your kid is going to be confronted with the fact that this content, this material is public of their own mother.
Do you really think it's going to be what they say, and that eventually it's just going to be so normal that it won't be, the kids won't experience?
They wish that were true. Yeah. They wish.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so.
People, I think that
it's going to change.
Maybe not Puritanism, but a sense of shame is innate in people, and it's never going to go away. It's not going to be conditioned out of us, out of humanity.
Even just by virtue that there will be jealousy from women that wish they could do it but can't because they're not attracted to them.
Did you see Kim Kardashian? Absolutely. I don't know if it was fake or not. I assume it wasn't. But when her kid found her tape online, she broke down.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even know if I buy that. Like, I don't know what her kid. They said her kid was playing like Minecraft or something.
No, it was like a phishing ad on Roblox.
And I was like, why is this on there?
Get the extra footage or whatever. I don't even know. But
there is one more, a very big one from.
Oh wow.
Super 503 Dank.
He said, just because I love this crew.
Thank you.
That's sweet of you. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thanks, bro.
How about we jump into the super chats?
All right.
Then. Goofer Trooper said, Brett, I hope you like. This is weird. I liked that them hole video I sent. What does that mean? Brett, I hope you liked that them hole video I sent. And then he said, a beautiful Wednesday to listen to PCC. Let's go. I don't know what that means. I think he wants you to check DMs.
I'll have to.
That's scary, though.
Might have been. I haven't looked at it yet. I get a lot of baseball videos because I post a lot of baseball content on Instagram, baseball, America's Sport, and everything, and all that. So I get a lot of people sending me baseball videos and stuff like. I actually got. Okay, here's a funny story. I got like a real pushback last night from like a.
Thank you.
I got interrupted. This is my own fault. I created this problem.
brought this on yourself.
Yeah, but I posted. It's this old video of Mark McGuire during
Put on the PTZ.
No, Batman. Like it's that was a good face you just made right there.
Huh?
That was a good face you just made right there. But it's a video of there it is. That's what the PTZ was created for. That's why we have it there. But it's a video of Mark McGuire hitting home runs at the home run derby, and he's enormous because of the steroids. And I was just like, look, in a perfect world, the guys would be able to just roid themselves to the gills, and the pitchers should be able to put non-FDA approved fishing lubricant on their hand and just let them fight it out in the field. I don't care if they're taking drugs. And somebody's like, that's not a healthy thing to say. I'm like, oh, shut up.
I have a question for you, Brett.
As if everything else is healthy.
If athletes are not allowed to compete at a professional level using performance-enhancing drugs, why are models allowed to get
let them
body
all
enhancements?
No, I want them. Why do women get to wear makeup at beauty pageants if men can't take performance-enhancing drugs?
No. Don't belittle my argument to that. No. Makeup's different. I'm talking about surgery, like physically altering your body, just like men are doing.
Brett likes the fake.
I want the guys to be. I want the guys on all the steroids, and I want the pitchers.
You just want Baywatch for everything.
I want every hitter to just like. If you watch this, it's from like the 1999 home run derby, and it's hilarious. He's chewing his gum like it's the last thing he's ever going to eat in his entire life. It's very clear. And I love it. It was a great time.
Yeah,
baseball gained heavily from the steroid era. Yeah. And the funny thing is, it's also the reason I love Ken Griffey Jr. because he didn't use steroids during the steroid era. He was just that good. But I have no problem. They make it seem like the pitchers weren't using steroids.
Right.
They were too.
To quote one of my favorites, we brought him up last night. Actually, brought up Rick Ross last night. To quote one of my favorites, he said, "Canseco is only snitching because he's finished," because that's right. Yeah. Canseco was out, and that's when Canseco said, "Hey, everyone's using steroids." And then everyone had the moral panic and freaked out. Same thing happened in Tour de France within cycling.
Oh yeah.
So I used to do that when I was like what I did back in the day, and everyone freaked out suddenly, and it was just like, dude, it especially in like the UCI circles, which is like the regulating body of cycling.
Yeah.
Everyone knows. Like we're all
you gotta
aware.
ask.
There's no
open
way
secret.
You can do this.
Sure,
yeah,
but you gotta ask
secret.
yourself, when the winner of the Tour de France is using them, did that play a role? And unfortunately, it's like if he gets second or third place, Lance Armstrong never gets in trouble.
Right, but the thing is, it's so doubtful, and there are so many people that are also doing the same thing. Like it said, like it was like what I forgot. It was like 7 or 8 people up at the top, and they were the ones that got caught.
Yeah.
And found. It's like, okay, that one person that still got it, they're praying that nothing.
And
comes
you know
out
what? I guess after talking this for a couple minutes,
etc.
After talking about this with you guys for a couple minutes, I do think, it is probably pretty abundant because it's hilarious. It's a joke now. As soon as someone has a really good performance in a game, what comes up the next day? Random drug test.
Dude, that happened to some basketball player recently, right?
Yep.
He scored like
70 points. It happens to football players all the time.
Yeah.
It happens to hockey players. Basically every professional athlete. If they have a crazy game, the next day.
Testing them right in the same way. Yeah. But still, like, I think like it's something like it's. I think there should be an unregulated league. I think there should be an unlimited thing because it would be cool to see. And if you decide to do that, great. If you decide not to, great. You know what I mean? You can still go to the Olympics, and the Olympics should be regulated.
I want the outfielders to just be so roided out they can just jump over the wall to catch the ball.
If it's purely a business at this point, you know, if you're just trying money on this, like why not allow there to be like an unlimited like if you look at I'm a big fan of rally driving. If you look at the famous Project B or like Class B rally group, which is just completely unregulated, those cars they created new technology. Yeah. Audi has Quattro from that. Like a lot of the car tech that came out that just leaps and bounds of improvements in vehicle tech at that point was wild. And yes, people did die. There were problems with it, of course.
Also, think now this is how, or what we can do is like, if there's going to be trans women competing in sports, the trans women can't use steroids, but the regular women can.
I was gonna say that.
Let's go.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, maybe that's going too far.
No, let's do it.
I'm down.
But if you create an unregulated league, you can do whatever you want.
I would love to talk to like an actual like physician or something and say like would you have similar effects? Like, so if a man and a woman both take the same steroid and did the same workouts, like would their bodies react the same way to those steroids? I would guess
because
no.
it'd have to be different.
No.
You'd have to do different things to achieve a similar result. I mean, are you talking about equity within this, or are you talking about like?
No, I'm just wondering like, if like a guy's arms would get more developed, where then a girl's legs would get more developed, even though it's the same regimen.
So we're gonna compare apples to oranges here.
What?
A guy's legs versus a guy's arms.
I'm saying.
A woman's legs.
What I'm saying is, if a woman takes steroids, if those effects and results will
steroids
be
aren't just one thing. There's many different ones.
I know. So if you gave a man and a woman the same steroid, the same drug, right, and they gave them the same regimen, let's say they're the same body size and everything.
Who would earn more muscle?
Yeah.
Probably the male.
That's what I was saying. Probably.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple more.
It made it so confusing.
Let's read two more.
Okay. Luis Aguilar said PCC meetup at North Sentinel Island.
Ooh.
Nice. Hey, I'm there.
Yeah.
Let's
Is that
go.
happening?
I got the money to pay for it right
let's
here.
hit up Lord
Let's
Miles.
go. I can probably just take up like this much. We can get there.
Okay.
We'll bring this much. You guys can come. Cool? Yeah, let's do it.
Disco Jensen said Hollywood has been running psyops to break down the nuclear family for decades.
Yep.
True. I can confirm I'm single, and I was living in Hollywood for like 5 years, so like I'm a single guy. 4 years.
It's Hollywood's
single
fault.
guy.
You watch that?
Yeah.
It is
Every
Hollywood's
time
fault.
there's like, Brett, you're not married. I'm like, well, it's Hollywood's fault.
Right.
So it's their fault,
That's what I see the
guys.
entire
You guys
time.
watched the Beyonce video, didn't you?
Yeah. It's like, well, no, like I was dating a girl and then she saw that video and then she just left. Okay,
Yeah.
It wasn't my fault.
Totally
It wasn't my
understand.
fault.
That's how it happens.
All right, guys, we're moving on. So remember earlier when we were talking about Drew Barrymore and Dylan Mulvaney? Well, we're not exactly done. So whether you would like to admit it or not, the LGBTQIA plus lobby is the most powerful lobby in all of the socio-political sphere. This is
Totes.
not up for debate in a lot of context. I don't think it is.
Totes, yeah.
Lil Nas X says he's sorry to the trans community. Transitioning joke was a little bit too far. If you
I agree.
remember, this
I
is the
agree.
guy who
Actually.
who had sneakers filled with his blood just to own the Christians. Okay, it wasn't to own the Christians, but you know,
I mean,
it was,
an
but
attempt
it
at
became
that.
part of it. But he knows that there's things that are there's only one true sacred cow right now in this industry, and that's it's the identity of being trans. You cannot make fun of them. And to call this a joke, in fact, we'll just put it on screen. To call this a joke is barely a joke.
I mean, he
No, I think
posted
it's
this
funny.
picture of a random influencer and said the surgery was a success, meaning like, hey, I transitioned.
because they look a
haha.
little bit alike.
But honestly, if I were that girl, I would probably be pissed off. Like if somebody posted my picture.
Do you know why people
a
are
guy
upset,
posted
though?
my picture and then said that he like transitioned.
The
and that
trans
was
community is
funny.
upset though because they'll never look like this.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, like no
Well, that's-
no
yeah, 'cause
surgery
she's
can
cis.
make
Yeah.
you look like a natural God created woman. No surgery, no injections, no workout plan. Like it's just not going to happen.
Can make you
and
look
people
like
are
Kim,
upset.
though.
It's a sad,
I mean,
hard pill to
Women want
swallow.
to look like
this
natural women. They want to look like
upsets
Kim. Okay.
They-
Why
Let's
didn't
be
it
real.
upset them when Nas like did this photo shoot where he had this fake pregnant belly
Good
on?
point.
You know, like
point.
why didn't it
Because-
upset
Because
them
they can infer deeper meaning there.
When they
or
don't,
is it because pregnancy and the biological functions of being female have been uprooted from the identity of womanhood?
Yeah.
But having makeup and long hair and jewelry on and eyelash extensions is still included in the package.
Mary, pregnancy,
That's what it is.
Pregnancy for these people is a fantasy, and that's why they think it's funny. They have no plans to get pregnant. They've got regularly scheduled trips to the abortion clinic.
So then they're trying
And
to
they think that
dodge.
men
So then they're trying
can
to
get
get away
pregnant.
from and
Lil
not
Nas
have
X
happen to them. you
Being
know?
pregnant is hilarious because it's a fantasy land that they know is out there, and they're never going to touch it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I can
Says
see that.
says Lil Nas X stunts shouldn't be that surprising considering his history, and this isn't virtue signaling. I'm genuinely sitting here thinking about everything he was already doing and saying pre-fame up to now. And then they basically go into it. Says Lil Nas X gotta know when to troll and when not to. He's too childish. It's not about being too childish. It's about a group of people that can't take a joke.
I mean, Lil Nas X came up as a troll. He was a Twitter troll before anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before being a mainstream artist. And even Old Town Road, his first single, was a troll.
Oh, also I want you to read the tweet above the one from Reese. Read the hyperbole. It is the most hyperbolic thing you could possibly say in this situation.
Lil Nas X really pissed me off. Like, why would you subject a trans person to more violence over a joke that was already questionable? Yes,
Wow.
someone saw Lil Nas X's tweet and they were just like, you know what? I'm going to go out on the streets and commit a hate crime against a trans person now.
That's because
Like-
those people are following Lil Nas X.
Right, because they're aware. Right, exactly. Exactly.
That was like it was like what they were talking about
I'm a loss for words.
with when Dave Chappelle was talking about Jussie Smollett and the people who he's like, these people aren't watching Empire. They don't know who Jussie Smollett is. They don't know it. What are you talking about?
What B-list actor?
Yeah.
Who, it's like, he's not even a main character in the show, from what I understand. Like he was, dude. It's such a joke. It's such.
But you know what will cause like hate crimes to happen is like tricking the country into thinking that a black man was nearly lynched in the middle of a public area.
Negative
we agree that
16
he
degrees
was.
in.
Right. We agree that was like a real thing. There totally was no.
That Jussie is innocent.
I'm feeling
I mean,
this conversation is going to cause violence, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I would hope you
we
guys
need to be careful.
I hope you guys are on the right side of history here. Like, you guys don't.
Wait, did you just say you're on the right side?
Yeah, the police are making.
If Jussie had like come out and said, I was just trolling, then I would be like, okay, I respect that.
I would champion him.
He stuck with his story, so I was like, okay, whatever.
I would champion him.
Live with the consequences.
But he did not.
No.
Yeah, and then
now in this story, Lil Nas X has apologized. He said, apologies to the trans community. I definitely handled that situation with anger instead of considering why it was not cool. Much love to you guys.
Please
Much
don't
love.
ruin my life and leave me in a cardboard box outside.
Yeah, true.
There is no group in the world that has more lobbying power and leaves people more terrified.
But his
K-pop.
first response,
That
he
is
pushed
true.
back.
There's
He
a
said,
lot of overlap between.
I think that his apology came after his management went to him and was like, you can't be doing this. His
Right.
management was like, apologize now or we're dropping you as a client. Because his first response was, I'm literally just saying that she looks like me. Y'all cannot be effing serious.
Yes, they are. They are.
And then he backtracked.
But then
Mr. X
I love
very
this one.
into
This is my personal favorite. It says, "Baby, this apology ain't it. You need to apologize to the trans community in material ways that include money, sharing your platform to raise awareness, and just
there's
keep
another
it.
one.
This is fake as hell."
Yeah,
Yeah, we're just gonna,
I'm
like-
just make sure I check off all the
It always
things.
comes
This
up-
is
comes back
literally
to
like
money.
during the summer of love when people
man.
started posting links to their Venmo and their Cash App and they're like,
Yeah.
I'm black, send me money.
Donate.
And we're just shuffling around our COVID relief fund
Yeah.
aimlessly.
Hey, I
and
mean-
this is social activism. Like, get off my ass.
That was kind of funny though. Like just put it in your Venmo and your like Twitter bio. Be like,
It's so
My Twitter's open too. My grift is
undignified,
real. If you want to give me
dude.
money, you can just do it on Twitter.
That's
Just
what
give
you're-
me money. If
you
guys
should
wanna
do
give
it
me
and
money.
just be like, I'm
I
African.
could use some money. All right.
Yeah, just
I could
say that you're
I could use more
African.
money, please. You know, I can't. You can't just do this for free. Like I can't do two. Look at this.
Hold
I
on.
need more
He's
money.
being sneako.
I'm calling you guys so you know I need more money. Just give me more money, please. Yeah, but you should do that. If you have Twitter, add your money there. Post your Venmo on Instagram. Post whatever. Why not? Just keep asking people for money, guys. That's how you make a
it
success
works.
in this world.
If
Just
you
ask
claim
for
to
money.
be oppressed, especially if you say that you're like getting if you say you're unhoused because you're
Yes,
trans.
you
then-
guys remember the GoFundMe for George Floyd? And it became like the biggest like
oh yeah,
donation.
didn't
Yep, I
they
remember
like
that.
give like $1 million or something?
I don't know, but the guy who created it was named Kellen.
Oh,
It was
Nice.
you.
So
It was
was
you.
was
It
it
was
you
not
all
me.
along?
Was not me.
That whole situation was hilarious because to me, as somebody who grew up in Minnesota and just knows how unbelievably corrupt the Minneapolis Police Department has always been.
True.
Like, I'm just like, I'm not gonna shed any tears for like a group of corrupt pieces of crap. But at the same time, I'm also not going to post a black square or donate
Wait, you
money to
didn't?
some person I don't know.
well, it's like to me,
didn't post
it,
one?
it
I
doesn't
didn't post a black
do
square.
anything.
Dude.
Virtue
I
signaling.
posted a white square.
Nice.
Just coming clean
Nice.
there.
Nice. That's good.
Virtue signaling does
not.
not help anyone, right? And it does not.
Well, it helps the person attempting to virtue signal
helps
with their
nobody.
particular audience that they're trying to.
like if
virtue
you want to
signal
help
to.
people of color,
them.
go down to your local like homeless shelter. Go down wherever. There's a million ways to actually make meaningful help.
So you're saying you need to be material about it, right? Which is exactly what this person is saying about it.
What?
About what Lil Nas X's apology. You have to be material.
No. What like how would he be material with his apology?
I don't know. I'm just trying to compare.
What
it.
I'm
We
saying
should
is
make
rather
a-
than posting a black square on your Instagram, go down and
Performative.
volunteer at a soup kitchen.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Like,
not
come on.
not be performative, but be actual
Yeah.
actionable. Do something, right?
But it made me think of what happened recently with Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
She's
Yeah.
thanking her trans daughter Ruby in her not her Golden Globes, her Oscars
there's
speech.
There's like a video, there's like a model named Ruby Rose. So there's like Ruby Rose the actress and Ruby Rose like the Instagram model. There's like different.
Oh, I didn't know.
There's
one's just the actress.
One's Ruby with a Y and one's Ruby with an I.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Jamie Lee Curtis, I mean, the levels, there are so many layers to the virtue signaling at this point. So there are the people who are mad at Jamie Lee Curtis for winning Best Supporting Actress for Everything Everywhere All at
Angela
Once
Bassett was not
because
happy.
she is white and not Asian. And then there are the people saying, Jamie Lee Curtis deserves this because she's virtue signaling about trans issues.
Now we're just on the.
Meanwhile, Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter is actually someone who has a fetish for wearing diapers and pretending to be a baby.
I was so much happier 10 seconds ago before I knew that was.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So.
I'd like to apologize to everybody that just had to hear that because I didn't know that.
Sounds like a very well-adjusted person that definitely, totally, deserves validation on the world stage.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay then.
And you're totally an oppressed minority. Yeah.
But beyond that,
Big ups to you.
But it's not just that. There was also this story about a Japanese actress who had to issue an apology after activists harassed her for voicing her opinions that public facilities should be separated according to one's biological sex. That's not allowed anymore.
Even in Japan?
Even in Japan. You're not allowed
Or did
to have
she
that
say
taken.
this to a Western outlet?
No, it was on her Instagram.
I like.
Okay, if it's on Instagram, it's open for the Westerners
Yeah.
to see it and
Yeah,
tear her apart.
Governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin's talking about this again, and I like what he's doing because he's just like, man, I don't care how you feel about it. Bottom line is we just need more bathrooms. And I'm like, thank you.
Sure,
I can't imagine all the times
Makes some
that
jobs.
I've had to wait in line for a public
bathrooms,
bathroom. But it's like,
Yeah, true.
honestly, if you just had a bunch of single stall, like if you really think about it, like a large public area where people are taking dumps, kind of weird.
Well, if
It's
you
absurd.
open it
You haven't
to
been to
just
6th Street in Los Angeles,
single-person
man. It's
bathrooms,
pretty wild.
then it will
What?
turn into a situation where people use those to do drugs.
That's already
and stuff.
happening.
Yeah.
It's already happening, Mary.
Like, remember when
So,
all the
you know.
stuff that
I
happened
mean,
in
in
Starbucks?
California, it's happening.
No, I'm telling you,
Definitely
you can,
California.
dude. It is already. You can go to a bar down the road here in West Virginia. I guarantee someone's doing drugs in the bathroom. This highway is known as the heroin highway.
Wait, what? You think that people only do drugs in bathrooms in California?
What I'm
know.
saying is in California, they don't have the ability to call the police and remove anybody.
Oh yeah, well Starbucks, Starbucks got in trouble for not letting people into their bathroom.
At least in this state, I think that doesn't apply.
I think if someone's
if you just don't have a
ODing,
bathroom,
you
or
can
you just
still
say you
call
don't
the
have a
cops.
bathroom, you're
But
good. That's the thing.
Oh, you have
Just
to
say you
let
don't have
them
one.
But a lot of them-
incapacitated first.
a lot of them, it's just like they don't want you using it unless you purchase something from there, and that's considered bad now. Like you can't.
who was it? I forget. Some influencer just posted a photo of where to insert a coin to use the bathroom. They're like, I would hate to live somewhere.
I
where
just
I
don't
have
carry
to pay
coins
to
with
use the
me.
bathroom, and I'm
But-
like, those bathrooms are cleaner almost
That's
always.
I
true.
used to.
They'd hate Europe because everyone in Europe, you're expected to give a little bit of some money to the person attending to the bathroom and keeping it clean. It's that's just kind of what you do.
Yeah.
You tip someone to keep it clean because that's what you're paying for.
Really?
You're not
I thought
just-
that tips were less common in Europe.
No. It's not a tip on food. That's like an expected thing to pay for while
okay.
you're in the restaurant. If they have providing like mints and cologne and etc. and any sanitary items and like contact lenses and just things you'd expect to buy at like,
Contact lenses.
Yeah,
Really?
like lens solution.
Oh, I was like, they just have like a list
No,
of like
not
all
len-
the
not the
different
lenses,
prescriptions. You just
no.
pick your prescription
But
out.
like lens solution,
Okay.
etc. All your regular toiletries, but like that's what you're paying for with that 25 cents. It's just a minor version of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is this this situation with Diplo claiming that he's not gay, but he has gotten a blowjob from a guy?
It is more beneficial in music in Hollywood now to be either sexually ambiguous or bisexual at the very
Oh,
minimum.
now that just happened. Oh, damn. Oh well, I might just like transition. Real quick.
It says,
I'll be right back, guys.
he says, he basically said that he's not gay, but he has received oral sex from a man. I don't know why you tell that story other than
because
it's-
you're on Emily Ratatouille's
it
podcast
raises
and
your
you have to
social
embarrass
capital.
yourself.
Yep.
It's mandatory.
Have you heard the Crocs joke, guys?
No,
It's a funny one. All right,
I
so
love Crocs, so be careful.
wearing Crocs is like doing oral with a gay man. Feels great, but when you look down there, you're like, I'm gay.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I wouldn't say
Crocs
it
are the
applies
greatest
to
thing.
Crocs.
Crocs are the greatest thing ever invented.
You have a Croc
Ugly,
stan?
but they're ugly, but I won't call them gay.
Crocs are great.
He stopped
They're
short
hard to
of
make
labeling
look
his.
good.
It says this is despite the course of this conversation, he stopped short of labeling his sexuality, and it's just like what we talked about on Monday with Lucas Gage. It is now no longer beneficial to label yourself if you are a heterosexual person. You have to either be a member of the LGBTQIA plus community, or you have to just say, I'll leave it up to your
Well,
imagination.
you can be in the community by fitting the Q, questioning.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Just
Right?
questioning.
You're
That's
in the
what you need to do.
acronym if you're questioning, and no one can.
That's not what the Q stands for.
I think it does. It stands for multiple things.
If it's is there QQ then for because the other
Sure.
it's
You didn't even
also-
mention
it means-
two.
it means
two
multiple
plus
things.
because
So,
two
but
plus
yeah.
you didn't.
I just always assumed
even
it
add to
stood
that,
for
and that's
queer.
the thing.
It's
It
yeah.
does. One of the Qs
Yeah.
does.
Wait,
Yeah.
how many Qs are there?
Many.
QAnon.
There can be.
QAnon.
Dude, what if, we should just start saying that. We should just be like, oh, it stands for QAnon.
Yeah,
LGBT QAnon.
You guys don't believe Q? What, for real? Like,
What a bigot.
Let's go
Yeah,
big time
how big a-
QAnon.
yeah,
Let's
how big
let's
can
get
it
big
be?
time QAnon.
I like
Yeah,
someone called
why
it the alphabet crowd, and I was like, that's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to say.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that right now it is more beneficial for celebrities to be ambiguous because it allows them to both garner support from a very powerful group that pays a lot of. I mean, I don't know how much money they spend in the industry, but it gets them a lot of
Well,
social
it's funny
capital.
because I think there are a lot of secretly gay stars out there. Actually, like based on things that Jeffree Star has said, especially, he says I've hooked up with so many like celebrities who people think are straight men, but they're not, and they like threaten me to not tell anyone. Like there are some people that are still hiding their sexual orientation.
Very
Probably
true.
mostly rappers.
Yeah, I can see because there's way more stigma against that in that community.
Yeah.
It'd be
So
one
But then
thing.
Lil Uzi Vert is
Yeah,
over
right.
here like being a they them.
Right, it's
Yeah.
so and like not
There's
only
a
him,
new
but like Young
generation.
Thug too, like Thugger, famously wearing a dress after Lil B. Lil B did it first, which is a thing I need to make sure I point out. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, but it's that was done when it was acceptable. It was not.
Yeah, and
pushing
then
any
you see all the
boundaries.
dresses to like these Met and these galas and stuff, like from like athletes and stuff. So I've heard it's not always like this closeted thing. I've heard it's like they're tying back to like their African roots and culture because like that's what they say. Apparently every men and women wore dresses in Africa, I guess, and skirts and stuff. If Diplo came out and said, "Listen, I'm a crazy producer. I'm a DJ. The road is wild. There's lots of drugs and alcohol. Maybe it happened. I don't know." But he's like, "No, I know it happened."
Yeah, it's weird.
But that's
it's weird.
not just it. Remember, we had there was a story recently where he got accused of SA.
Diplo did?
Yes.
I didn't see that.
It was when we were covering the Nickelodeon. I forget the guy from Nickelodeon, the famous producer.
Okay. Well, this is Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider.
Yeah. This is like what happens when, you liberate people sexually. That means the predators get free reign. It's open season for them.
Yep.
True.
Basically, like that's
it gives
sexual libertinism opens the floodgates for all forms of predation as well.
It gives the worst amongst them cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. We got some super chats there.
Yeah, we got a ton
We got a bunch.
here. High Voltage 75 asked me if I kept the Kaiser helmet. I did not.
Huh.
But I only wore it for like 10. Nairuk Derog said, "The greatest achievement one can do is find self-fulfillment, wholeness, sanctity, holiness, enlightenment. Everyone can achieve this if they will it."
Excellent.
Agree.
Sounds like kind of a platitude to me, but good luck. Bobcat said, "I had a funny joke about the chicks on whatever and taxes, but YouTube won't let me send it."
No, what?
Well, we were just making that joke before the show started. I said, like, look, if you're 18 or 19 and you're making 6 figures off of, like, doing dance videos, you're not going to want to pay taxes, are you?
Yeah.
Well, then they might actually end up. See what I'm going to be doing, guys, is I'm going to be building a wall of fame here of celebrities who have bravely fought back against the IRS. It's going to be it's like all of them will get 8x10s, but Wesley Snipes will get like a 14x20.
As he
They will all orbit Wesley Snipes as the tax heroes that they are. Look, we may not be fans of celebrities, but we're even smaller. Like we're even less a fan of the IRS.
Yeah.
So the idea that patron Saint Wesley, patron Saint Snipes, we can have him there as the patron saint of.
Does it have like a logo yet?
No, I got to work on that, but I'm gonna put him off. Actually, you'll probably be able to see them on the PTZ camera at a certain point.
You got to get
as an XLA guy, you should definitely
Shakira
have
too.
Yeah, no, Shakira will be on there.
Shakira.
So Wesley Snipes, Shakira.
And
We
you
will
should
be
have a LA Dodgers logo as like their logo. You know what I mean? Just
The
like the
man-
unofficial, because they're the
the
tax
owner?
Dodgers. You gotta have a Dodger.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
that's freaking genius.
Dodgers logo.
It's genius.
Disco
LA.
Jensen said the celebrities are using every avenue to claim victimhood to hold on to relevance. Their followers are just as lost because of the influences.
Agree.
Do you think part of it is just too much of a reliance on looking to celebrities and influencers for guidance because people feel more alone than they ever have?
I told Mary right before the show started, I said, Mary, I honestly think you did more for those girls on the Whatever podcast than any role model or parent in their life. I mean, you just spit facts. It was
dark,
a cold,
dude.
hard, cold
Scary.
wake-up call.
A lot of them openly said, like, I'm not in contact with my father.
Yeah.
Like, they
Yeah.
said that, and,
Damn.
you know, it has consequences, sadly. And that's why this is a both-sided issue. I don't think that women cause all these problems. I think there are men that need to step up and be better men as well.
As in their fathers.
As in
and
be
the
a
men,
present father and
yeah.
don't just abandon them to the world like this, because you see what happens.
Like, I would wonder, it would be interesting to know the percentage of those where the father actively walked out, or if the mother took them.
Well, who is to say, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, they might have been told a different version of the story and
for a lot
whatever.
of
But
them,
the consequence is, like, not having your father in your life, no matter how that happened. It's a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Clint said, "What do you call a 304 with a runny nose?" Oh.
Oh man. Good. That's funny.
I don't get it. I'll leave it
Mary.
there.
That's good.
Gordon Shumway said, Kellen, I wouldn't even call that social media spat alpha male behavior. An alpha male would have the argument in person, and how we used to say, settle it like men.
I agree. That's why Sam Hyde is the GOAT.
Fisticuffs.
Yeah, definitely.
Bring
Yeah.
back fisticuffs.
Yeah.
Sam Hyde was like, I don't want to complain online. Boxing ring. Let's do it.
Yep.
Well, YouTube does celebrity boxing, right? Like, YouTube does
Yeah,
like.
but you need the opponent to also want to
Yeah.
do it. You know.
Yeah.
Parnell.
Sneak- hard part.
Sneeko v Moist Critical
I
in a
mean,
boxing ring.
even
That's tough.
though
They would do
like,
it, right?
Sneeko's scrawny. They're both kind of scrawny. I mean, Moist has got. He definitely works out.
If they're a good physical match,
I would say
they should
they're
do
not.
it.
he's taller than him. He's like 6 foot. It's like probably a 6-inch difference height wise. They're
Who,
not even in the
Sneeko?
same class. Yeah, even
It's
though
not
even though
extreme.
it's like extreme, but in this situation, especially because like he's not weak, you know, but at the same time, Critical does, you know, have quite the physique. He mentions it in the video. You should watch the video. Like it's the one where he
how tall is
pulls
Critical?
out his firearms. Critical's like 5'6". Is what he says.
Oh.
Yeah.
Parnell said, best part on whatever podcast, Nicolette, subscribe to my OF. Mary, okay, my final message is don't subscribe to her OF.
That was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Oodles McNoodles said, Kellen, I think the quote you're looking for in terms of Moist Critical is never argue with idiots because they will bring you down to their level and beat you with experience.
That's right.
See you at their own game.
Yeah, I knew that was the quote, but I don't know who to attribute that to.
It's one of those quotes. Probably Marcus Aurelius.
I want to say it's Teddy Roosevelt, but it's not right at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
We should just do a thing where you just make up like
Yeah.
like just say that, just say it with
falsely
all the
attribute.
confidence in
Why
the world.
not?
It's like,
Who cares?
yeah, it was Nikola Tesla who said that.
Yeah.
And then just move on.
Steve
What are you
Jobs,
going to do, fact check
Yeah,
me?
Back in '99, Steve Jobs, he was given a press conference for the new Mac that were going to put all the schools, and he got up there and he said, "Who's they though?" You know, and
And the kids were like, I don't know.
Don't you
Who
tell
is
us,
it?
Who
man.
is they though?
Who really is they though? I think
Scott,
about that every
I
night.
am not reading that. I cannot believe that got through. John S. said, I caught the episode of the Whatever podcast. You did great, Mary. It made me so sad, man. It doesn't look good for our generation.
It needs to be said that, like, look, they're not just going out on the street and picking any random girl on these shows. Like, these girls are found, right? It's like,
Or they specifically reached out, I think.
yes, this isn't a thing where they just plucked 4 girls off the street right before the show, and all 4 of them happen to have OnlyFans and missing fathers.
Looking at that area and the type of college students that were walking around on the street out there, you know, they probably could.
Mary, someone said that maybe the girls reacted the way they did because you're a peer, and that they need someone much older to be telling them the things that you're telling them.
You think?
I'm asking. I think that might be true. Yeah.
A lot of people were commenting like, "You're bullying them. They're children," and it's like, dude, she's 3 years younger than me.
She's been coddled.
Like, I don't know what to tell you. We're both grown women.
Yeah,
so
for real.
yeah, but maybe they do need an older person to tell
Yeah,
them.
but then they'll just dismiss them as out of touch.
Yeah, they'll say it's, you're like,
You
you're
don't
from this
understand.
generation that was taught toxic ideas
Yeah,
about
but maybe
sexuality.
if it's coming from you and someone that's older, maybe then they'll finally.
Well, how much work are we supposed to do for these people? Like, hi, person I don't know. Let me organize an intervention to stop you from making your horrible
You can
life
only do
decisions.
so much for
Jesus
them.
Christ. Like,
Well, so much
like,
you gotta do.
are you kidding me? Like, if this was a dude, they'd be like, oh, too bad you're going to die in a ditch of sad,
Yeah,
of being
seriously.
a lonely piece of crap.
Yeah.
Sucks to
No.
be you. Bye. Like, no. Make them figure it out for themselves.
I agree.
I'm done
I agree.
with this crap.
That was
So fucking
great.
tiring, man, for real.
That was great. Someone
Bloody
click
tiring,
that.
Yeah, I don't have a
Bloody
response.
tiring.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Nathan Koss said Serge needs money. He's so poor he even lost his hair in the bank crash. Love you guys. Keep
true.
up the great work.
SVB just like took it with him.
Yeah, I mean, after like what happened with my FTX, I just like, well,
Just one crash after the other.
yeah,
I can't
just
take
said
much more of this.
I had to sell the hair. It actually all went to a wig, guys. So like, I had to help out and get my own money.
Apparently, Roku lost.
Thank you.
Roku lost like a fourth of their money in one of the bank crashes, and BuzzFeed lost like almost all their money
Yeah,
in
they
these
lost.
crashes.
They lost tons.
Wow.
So they didn't.
Maybe it'll be the end of them.
Lose is not the right
that's a-
word because I think they're getting it back.
Yeah, it's
The
FDIC
bailout.
insurance.
But they're not going to have it for months. It's not a bailout. We're not paying for it.
No?
I don't know, but
Who's
it's going to
paying
screw
for
things
it?
up either way.
How are they going to get the money back?
The I forget.
Daddy government.
They explained it. They're probably lying though. I'm not. You're the economy
Sussy.
major. You're the expert over there.
Okay. Tacty Platty said, marry your... I don't know what that is. Is that like an emoji?
I don't know. It's showing up as like it's just a
It's-
white
Or
square.
My white square makes up for all of your shopping cart hate. Slay. Yeah.
Slay Queen.
I remember I like posted that on my account when it was just people like from my school that followed it, and somebody I knew commented like, "You posted the wrong color," and I was like, "Oh, you thought this was like a sincere thing? Okay, cool. You fell for it, dude." Jacob Edler said Crocs are the ATV of footwear.
Yes, I agree 100%.
ATVs are cool.
Yeah, they have a sport mode and they have a like.
I wanna ride one.
Oh, where you can put
I
the
call
heel
that-
up,
Right,
or
that's
in the
sport
front. Yeah, there's some
Four-wheel
amazing,
drive.
Yeah, there's some amazing like
Four-wheel
skits
drive.
using the.
Yeah, and they're great. They have things you can
I like
you
the
can add
skits.
tactic. They have on how firearms have a little tactical what do you call that, tack rack, like a little thing on the front. Same thing with Crocs. You can put it inside the little holes. There's tons of little.
The gibbets.
Yes, they have
Or
so many
is that
things
what
to
they're
buy
called?
from
Something like
Crocs.
that.
You can buy aftermarket. Like there's just so much stuff.
I
you
like the
can-
videos where it's like definitely like somewhere in like the Middle East or India, and someone puts their phone inside of a croc in a little stream,
Yeah,
film
and it
something,
floats.
and they always lose the phone.
True,
Yeah.
but it does float. They do float. They're the real shoe putting shoes and footwear on kids in Africa is Crocs. Like bar none. There's nothing even
Really?
close.
Not
Yes.
even the ones that Mr. Beast gave them?
I think he did. I don't know what
I
he
thought
gave
they
them.
were like different.
Well, the reason Crocs are really well liked is because they're antimicrobial. So like
What
He
does that even
Wow.
mean?
He gave them
it
beastie
means
boots.
that they don't. You're not going to get like infections in your feet as easily from.
Because there are holes in it?
Did you?
No, it's just antimicrobial. So like they won't like hold like fungus on the shoes, like things like that. They won't.
okay.
We're not necessarily. They're not microbes, but I guess microbes would be like anything small.
Did you see that people got really mad at Mr. Beast for telling people to like put his chocolate in front of the other chocolates?
Oh no, I didn't
He was
see
like
that.
sourcing his like fans to like he's like I'm gonna be hiring people to do this, but in the meantime, if you see what are they called, like what is his candy called? I don't even remember. It's like
The
Beast Bites,
Beast Bar or
Beast Bars, and
something.
like he's like, can you like make the display look good if it doesn't look good and move it to the front?
Oh, true.
And then people are like, look, and then of course because everything he does to a certain group of like there is weird like Mr. Beast derangement syndrome, just like there's Elon.
But that's a
Musk
weird
derangement
request,
syndrome.
man. Someone needs to
It's just
pull him
anyone with
aside and be
success,
like,
man.
dude, this isn't you to worry about. Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
don't stop it. The chocolate will sell.
Should we
it.
start buying
Anyways,
Mr.
right,
Beast's
yeah.
chocolate?
We should do. Well,
instead
we're
of
getting the Daily
Hershey's?
Wire chocolate. So
We
what
are?
we're gonna do? Yeah, it's on its way. So,
Oh, okay.
And so,
cool.
So let's try a taste test, and we'll do a
Yeah.
blind taste test, and we'll do Daily Wire,
Oh.
Hershey, and
See if
Mr.
you can
Beast
tell
bar.
the
I mean, it wouldn't even
difference?
matter. You're going to be able to just
Nice.
you're going to be able to just feel the surface of it and know which one it is. 'cause
Well,
they
No,
just
no,
assume.
don't
you
do
gotta
that.
get somebody else to like put it
Cut
on
up-
a plate.
Okay.
You just chop up of like a really.
one piece.
They give
okay.
you tongs to.
You just chop it up so you can't tell like what shape it is. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
All right.
Or
It
what
gets
brand
very
it is.
complicated.
Feastables. Feastables.
Oh yeah, it's
Feastables.
Feastables.
Hmm.
Robert G. Smith said, "I would like to see a segment where the show analyzes originals and remakes and assesses how culture has changed across the time period between the films."
And start with Herbie Reloaded.
There are so many
first one.
examples you would literally never run out because they're constantly remaking
Yeah.
things.
Start with Herbie Reloaded. That's the best one.
That would be very interesting. It would be easier to do with movies than with television shows.
Yeah.
Like I would like to watch the original Man on Fire and then watch the remake to Man on Fire. And then you could analyze the fact that what would happen if this was made in 2024 rather than 2004 when the original was made in like the 80s, or it might have been, it was like the 80s or something like that. That could be interesting. Like and then just follow it down the line, or the original Equalizer, Mission Impossible. I guess that was a television show before it was a movie series. So
X said the black community is socially conservative.
Yeah.
and religious, right? Like
A lot of times,
and
yeah.
more religious. So
Even in cities like in LA and
Yep.
even in like Atlanta, and like that's what I found.
Yep.
Honestly.
Yeah. Fear Me It's Bree said, another thing the trans community kind of stole is elaborate makeup. I can never do makeup anymore without being afraid that I look like Dylan Mulvaney.
you should not be afraid of that. Just don't
Yeah,
let them take your joy.
Don't be afraid.
Don't
Yeah.
let them take your joy.
Be not afraid.
But also, I think that a lot of women started doing makeup that's like drag makeup on purpose, and it kind of like ruined.
They're copying
The
anime
bimbo-
too. Like Bella
bimbo look.
Ramsey does the. Like,
I'd rather
the
they copy
white in the
anime
corners
than
of her
drag.
eyes.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
better than doing
Yeah.
like drag.
You know what
stuff.
I don't like though is the fake freckles and blush that everyone's doing now.
it's because of the Twitter. It's not Twitter. The filters.
It started that way. Now it's like a makeup routine.
Yeah.
Did you
Definitely.
watch the last episode of The Last of Us?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
What'd you think? You liked it?
I think it's hilarious that people are freaking out.
Who's
I'm like,
freaking out?
welcome to like decently written television.
Oh, I felt emotionally
it was
disconnected from
whatever.
it. Like it's like I just I get why people like it, but I couldn't find.
I'm
it.
not
Like,
freaking out.
yeah.
Like I don't hate
I
it. I
think-
just
I don't
think
even know
this
what
whole
happened.
No,
season
he's
was
saying
a
that
shit
he's
show.
saying that people are freaking out and saying it's really good when really it's just kind of
I know people are
competently
freaking out that Joel did what he did
why?
That's because they didn't play the game.
What? Oh no, they're freaking out because they didn't endear you to Ellie. So why would it justify any of his actions?
Yeah.
That's why it is.
I don't know.
That's
I
why they're
don't-
freaking out. Ellie isn't a type of character that anyone watching would want to save.
It's selfish. Joel, like, listen, Joel had his. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to give it away, but
Yeah, be careful.
it's very selfish what Joel's doing. I think
Well,
you're putting too much on
yes.
Ellie as the character. I think
But
it's
at the same
100% is
time-
selfish.
No, what he does is inherently selfish.
But also, okay, maybe something in the middle would have been some way to pressure them into waking her back up, then informing her and getting her to say yes or no.
Spoilers.
You know?
We're on, or like I don't know.
Spoilers. The game has been out for like a long time.
I never played it.
And it's not for
guys.
that. I
I've
like-
played it, so
the game I didn't play either, but
For me,
maybe that's why I enjoy it.
perhaps look, his objectively different behavior is he's now very endeared to her. He's mentioning his daughter more regularly, almost uncomfortably mentioning his daughter on a regular basis in that episode. If they hadn't wasted all of episode 7 and maybe we got more than one episode of him acting that way, it
and
would have
wasted
felt
all
like
of
it was
episode 3
Yeah,
as well.
like-
Do you know
so-
the giraffe is real?
yes,
Yeah.
Nabo from the Calgary Zoo.
What a king.
King.
Yeah, I really liked the episode,
Okay.
and I got into an argument about it with a couple of the guys that work on Cast Castle. Shout out Aaron and Wesley, and they're like, "Just watch old stuff," and I'm like, "Dude, we gotta give some of the new stuff a chance."
No, they're right. We don't have to do that.
We
I'm
did.
tired of.
We do
I'm-
it, but we don't have to. You don't have to do
Dude,
that.
not everything is garbage.
There
are some good stuff that's being put out.
But
you
this
know?
Name all of
season,
them.
this whole
Name
first
all of them right
season,
now.
it was a shit show. It was bad.
I disagree.
I disagree with. I don't.
I
I don't.
100%
I just
disagree.
I thought it was just whatever. It was fine.
Maybe.
It was
There
9
were
episodes of
multiple points in the season where I was like, this show is awful.
Well,
and then
I never felt
then
that.
most of it, I was like, okay, I don't give a
What would you have
happened.
wanted?
I felt episode
differently.
7 was. I felt that episode 7 was objectively awful.
If parts of it
I think
are
everyone felt
awful
that way.
and then the rest of it is just mediocre, why should I keep watching?
It was like
Game of Thrones had that happen numerous times.
I never watched Game of Thrones.
It was.
But
It was.
what would you
mediocre.
have changed? Like, what were the changes that you would have wanted to see? Better, like a new cast, different cast.
More,
At least
more,
for Ellie.
more cordyceps, more
action,
more
more-
action, and they would have had
more
to.
cordyceps,
They needed
yeah.
to figure out how to endear her to him faster, so they spent more time.
Throw episode 3 in the trash, throw episode 7 in the trash, replace them with episodes where we get interactions between them.
Just remember, guys, video game adaptations you usually fail. So this is, in my opinion, this is a huge success. All right, they usually fail miserably.
Yeah, except for like
all right.
It's only
Kombat.
performing well
Super
because
Mario
people
Brothers.
have no options.
Maybe that's the case, but they also came out and said, "All right, we hear you, and these are the changes we're going to make for season 2. They're going to start to stray from the original game storyline. They're going to introduce way more cordyceps, way more action, right? So they
You
are.
can't wait till season 2 to then say, now we're going to include more of the cordyceps. You have to do that earlier. It's like when somebody was saying, like, wait till
Are
season.
you watching a monster show or are you watching a survival show?
They're
Depends
barely,
what it is to you.
They're
Also,
barely surviving.
I only just thought
I
about
never
this.
felt that they were in danger,
If
almost
they
at all.
did get the cordyceps and like somehow made it into a vaccine for everyone, and then everyone else would be immune too, you would still live in danger of the cordyceps forever because they're gonna try to rip you apart and kill you anyway. So it's not going to improve their situation that much. They're still going to be living on the run all the time.
Yeah. I don't know why there weren't more cordyceps. Maybe they'll answer that question.
Because they had to spend
expensive.
2 full episodes on stuff that didn't matter for social reasons.
That's definitely too many cooks in the
think it matters,
kitchen
okay?
because you can tell the episodes are real. Like you can tell there's multiple directors working on the season, right? And there's definitely someone that got into the creative control was like, I don't care, we're doing it my way. Prepubescent gay relationship. Go.
Craig
make it
Mazin,
happen.
the guy who made the
know?
show, is the same dude who made Chernobyl, and that's a lot of people consider that to be a masterpiece.
That one was, I would argue, Chernobyl's more boring than this.
I would agree. I would agree on that. But I'm saying-
Chernobyl-
but it fits the
boring.
storytelling.
Chernobyl.
there.
So
The first 2
boring.
episodes are gripping,
Boring.
and then nothing. Like it's just very nothing.
like-
I
for the
did,
rest
however,
of it.
like seeing Ashley Johnson play Ellie's mother in that because she voices Ellie in the game. And Ashley Johnson is a fantastic actor. I didn't need the pregnancy scene. I really didn't.
You just think that women's bodies are disgusting.
Disgusting. Oh my God. Yeah, basically.
Well, look, it's not like they showed her spread eagle.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
Also, no, and I want to point out.
like-
Look, I believe that the Marlene. Yeah, I know that they're that they're game accurate, but I just think that it's harder to connect with Marlene's struggle because you would expect that struggle to be inherently carried by a man.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I didn't feel like it didn't feel real to me. Her struggle, she kills her mother and then she has to do whatever to Ellie. Like I didn't feel like she was allowed to actually show any type of emotional connection because it would have run afoul of the character. Didn't make any sense.
True, okay.
Also, why didn't Marlene inform Joel of like how she found Ellie?
Oh, like earlier on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Why didn't she say anything?
And if she was smart, she would have just not told Joel and then just done it and been like, "Whoops, she died in
I
surgery."
don't think that Joel would have killed Marlene if he had known that Marlene was a childhood friend of Ellie's mother.
Yeah.
Dang, spoilers.
Okay, were you
well.
watching the show?
Oh well.
Don't- okay.
I don't get. Like, but listen, my main point here is that what it does, seeing a lot of people who love the show, people who have similar taste to me, who a lot of their reviews I tend to agree with, seeing them like this and me not dislike it, but just find it as like aggressively average, as kind of an affirmation that it really is subjective. Like I understand why they love it. A lot of them can articulate in great detail what it is they love about it.
Yeah.
I just don't feel that way. And I think that that's a good thing. Subjectivity is true in these cases. When you tell me why you like it, it's not me saying that you're wrong. It's me saying that it's art and it doesn't connect with me the same way.
True.
DD Mega Doodoo said, I'm jumping in late, but did you guys hear Bobby Caldwell passed?
Yeah.
Also, Thursday
in
shows
peace.
is for the boys. R.I.P. Bobby.
Well, it's Wednesday, but I don't know if that's because you guys are normally on Thursdays or if that was just their typical job gaslighting me. As they love to do.
Hopefully we help gaslight back a little bit.
Unusable Alpaca said this whatever podcast was obviously propaganda from Big Cart for the benefit of Mary.
That could be it.
Yep.
Shh, don't talk about that. Tophone Man said Surge Wig Fund. You have $5 so far. It's not going to be a good wig.
What if you bought a wig of your own hair?
He didn't have enough of it.
Could people do that?
Sure.
Like you
could do
just
that, I'm sure.
you had your own
could.
hair made into a wig?
That'd be a little creepy. I don't know why.
Kind of creepy.
No, I think I'd see the appeal. Like if you want to wear your hair short one day, but then but still want it long, boom.
The next day. Yes.
Yep.
I should have done that.
Or just keep it long and wear a bald cap one day.
Yeah. It's a little harder, but
There
you
you
can
go.
do it.
Greg Duvier said the redhead who did Korn said she would be mad at her fiance if he watched Korn.
I know.
That just makes no
That's
sense at all.
wild.
The funny part is she said that she knew it made no sense and that
Yeah.
she was a hypocrite for it.
She's
and
just
still said
admitting
it.
the
because she knows that the way porn is made is a disgusting, dehumanizing process for the parties involved, both on screen and watching.
I think she's just justifying it, and she's actually actively not putting any thought into it. She understands that it makes no sense, and she accepts that it makes no sense, and she doesn't think about it anymore.
Well, it's a double standard, and she admitted that it was a double standard.
At least
He has
she
to
meant
be
that.
exclusively loyal to her, and the same can't be expected the other way around.
Yep.
Greg Duvier, Scott O said, don't be a baby Mary. I'm not going to say that. Stop super chatting if you're going to try to get us banned on YouTube. That's weird. Elder Nerd BK said classic anime for Brett, Cowboy Bebop, Hellsing Ultimate, Trinity
Yep.
Blood, and of course, Darker Than Black. Please consider.
I think I'm going to start with Castlevania because
know three of those.
it's accessible. But right now, look, I just got into Smallville. I'm going to be on Smallville for a long. It's like 10 years of. I probably won't make it through 10 years. I am one of those people that I am really good at just like I can just turn a show on and like 3 seasons in, I'm done. I don't need to see the end. Like
Wow.
it was great while it lasted, and that's all that matters. Like I literally I flick between like 5, 7, 8 different shows at a time. Because my brain just doesn't know how to process one thing. I don't think linear like that. So I'm gonna try to. I'll probably get into Castlevania over the weekend, and then we will go from there. We'll try.
Bobcat said, okay, you should all check out the manga Gunsmith Cats, if only for the incredibly cool guns, and Brett would definitely appreciate the girls.
And the guns.
I kind of wish that you would start NGE just because I want to know
Oh yeah.
your opinion on it.
How long?
It's a super long show if I don't.
Okay.
I'm not.
I mean, yeah, but you could just watch like the. I
What?
don't know. NG. I was
Yeah.
saying you could start with maybe like you could. You couldn't start with movies, but some of them are like kind of standalone. You can kind of argue that the movies have standalone quality to them. I don't know.
I've also seen people say that Castlevania isn't anime, but then some people are saying it's good. Look, I'm starting there, and I have watched a
adaptation.
couple of episodes of Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Also, if you guys would like a recommendation, I've got a recommendation that would actually lean into. If you're a conservative or if you're a libertarian and you want to watch a show that it can be annoyingly progressive at times. For 2010, there was a show called Lie to Me starring Tim Roth and
remember
Kelly.
that one.
It's good. It's about a guy who reads micro expressions and you can always tell when people are lying. It's
Nice.
very, very like when I watched it when I was younger, loved it. It was great, but I didn't pick up on the progressive messaging until I got older, right? Like a lot of that stuff didn't stick out to me in the same way. I do recommend going and checking it out. It is on Hulu because Hulu, aside from Peacock, is apparently the best streaming service out there right now. So that would be my recommendation for the night. All right. Kellen, my friend, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. This was a good one.
Where
I
can
probably
we
said a lot of
follow
dumb
you?
things. Please follow me at KellenPDL. If you guys have any jokes that YouTube doesn't allow, just, I don't know, tag pop culture, tag me, and I'll go check them out. Thanks, guys.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you guys can also follow me at KellenPDL on Twitter.
That is an impressive
every time.
stack.
You can also argue with me on my other Twitter. It's my argument Twitter. It's at search.com. And then if you want, I am actually going to be, that music I talked about a while ago is releasing tomorrow. It's on at Cool Contest Records. It's a compilation. The track is called Speed Date. It's pretty funny. I think it's pretty funny. Yeah, thanks guys. I love the show. I like being here. It's not just because, I get to walk with like
loot.
the goodie bag.
Look at it from the peak. Look at that angle. It's like, so we could make a rap album.
We got stacks. Look at this. It's like almost to my smartphone, guys. We got a lot. We got a stack. Thanks guys.
All right, Mary, where can they find you?
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived and send me hate on Twitter. That is also Mary Archived. I have one last super chat from Potatoes for Seamus. He said, Kellen, who is that Waldo-looking guy who hates me?
Yeah, I don't know who let him into the country, man.
Wow, okay, xenophobe Kellen.
Oh, man. Love you, Potatoes.
Guys, before we go, could you hit the like button? Could you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? I saw some people in the chat saying that this was their first time checking out the show. Do not leave without hitting the subscribe button. It would help us greatly. That would be way you can get notified every time we start a new live stream. We are here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. If you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. No hate, just validation for me.
Nice.
At Brett Dasovic on both. For this show, we are here, like I said, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you'd like to listen rather than watch, we are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. And Mary, we've got one more right there.
It hasn't pulled up for me.
There we
yet.
go.
Oh,
Got it?
Dash Fortune said, Smallville was an excellent show until you realized that Lex, a multimillionaire grown man, is hanging out with college kids. All the time.
Not even college kids in the beginning. He's just like hanging out weirdly around high schoolers, and you're like, wow, yeah. You're like, he's like weirdly like I'm in like the halfway through the first season, and he just keeps trying to set up Clark and Lana on dates, even though Lana's got a boyfriend. And I'm like, what is this dude's deal? Like it's just weird. All right, guys, it was the 90s. It wasn't the 90s. It was the early 2000s. It started in 2001. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys, noon Pacific, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you'd like to follow Pop Culture Crisis on social media, we are on Twitter at PopCulture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow. See you then, guys.
Bye.
See ya.